Welcome to The Patty Show. My name is Patty Setiatti, and in this podcast, we'll explore the crossing point of the three P's: passion, pleasure, and positivity, and how they can lead you to your own personal paradise. We'll chat with inspiring guests, share practical tips, and dive into stories that will empower you to live your best life. Let's get the Patty Party started. Back to The Patty Show, everybody. Woo! Oh my goodness, studio audience. I love the energy, love the claps. Looking very stylish.
Oh, thank you. Thank you,
Studio
sir.
audience. I guess our budget is going up on The Patty Show over here. Welcome, y'all. We're on episode 62. Small steps, big shifts. This episode is going to be a fun one, y'all. Welcome back to The Patty Show. I'm your host, Patty Setiatti, the host that gets to show off very passionate people that I have the pleasure of connecting with, that bring a lot of positivity and are trying to share their personal paradise. Wow, that's a lot of P's.
It's a lot.
My breath, whew, man, that was a lot.
So much paradise.
See, so much paradise and energy. See, thank you, studio audience. We'll get to you eventually, okay? I just want to shout out my previous guest, my coworker, Ameda Zeneb, our Moroccan princess over there. She's doing her thing with her small business, Dune Blooms. It's a stuffed date business based in like the LA area. So I don't have the exact links. I forgot the exact Instagram. I'll plug it in below. But you can watch the previous episode. She shares about her passion of like starting that small business, moving from Morocco. She even wrote a book. So she's doing her thing. Proud of you, Zeneb. And speaking of proud, I'm very proud of this guest right next to me. Okay. He is a multi-talented actor. Multi-hyphenate. Come on now.
Okay.
With a love for all things Star Wars.
Oh, that's true.
Okay, okay.
Uh-oh.
He's also a stage manager.
Okay.
Whoa, this guy does it all right here.
You found my LinkedIn.
There, I know, for shout out to LinkedIn. With style for days. Look at the hat, the shirt combo.
The shirt was half of my net worth. Guys.
Look at that. We'll talk about that shirt in a bit. He's half my net worth. You've seen him in Sabrina Carpenter's music video for her hit single, Espresso. Of course. Give it up for my Squid Games brother right here.
Yes.
Levi, give it up, my boy. East Coast brother, come on
yes.
now.
Philadelphia.
East Coast brother, woo! Welcome to the Patty Show. We're so grateful to have you here. Finally here, man.
I'm grateful to be here, and it's a testament to you that you're bringing all these people, Squid Game people in particular, on, and I love that. Like for the audience, it's going to be some of the same story with Squid Game because so many of us met Patty that way. But like, think about that. We did this job like almost 2 years ago now. And
That's crazy.
And this guy's still bringing people on from Squid Game. I mean, he must have left an impact.
Well, this is my flower section.
We clap for you.
He already beat me to the flower section already.
Yeah.
Bro, flower section to you, man. Squid Game, I talk about it a lot because I don't even think I've hit half of the people we've met there. Yeah, we've only maybe like less than 10. But man, that time there was such a fun, blessed time. I just moved to LA that time. I think we were talking about it. Yeah, we were like all babies over there.
Yeah.
But everybody accepted us like family. And you, shout out to you specifically. My East Coast brother over here. You know, I came late to the Squid Game gang.
It's
probably
true.
Like mid-January.
I was a day one.
He was one of the OGs. So the fact that like the OGs made me feel like I was an OG, like bro, you guys welcomed me in. You welcomed me in. Like I was there the first day. So it's the testament to you, man. The good energy you brought and the laughs and all the craziness.
It really is a crazy story that I had only moved in August, and my first job, like real job, was Squid Game, and that was November. So that was like the middle of the writer's strike, and like LA was just like a crazy place, you know, on the picket lines, and we'll get into like the whole timeline of why I was even there to begin with. But just like coming into a city that was so off its balance.
Yeah.
Like we've never really experienced LA like as the people who are older than us be like, oh, like LA was this way or LA was that way.
Yeah.
Like, I never really got to experience that. Maybe like a tiny little fraction.
Yeah. Because it's so different now too compared to what people say it was. You know, after of course like COVID was one big thing, and then the strike.
The last 5 years have just been nuts.
It's nuts. But we're blessed to have all these opportunities. We're grateful to have you on the Patty Show, of course.
The Patty Show.
We're so grateful. What are your socials, by the way, so we can start off?
I think it's Levi James Bond.
Ah, yes, Levi James Bond.
On Instagram, which is in fact my legal name.
That's his real name, y'all. If y'all didn't know, at first when I saw that, I was like, okay, James Bond.
It's funny. Like my parents had no idea that they say it was obviously on purpose,
Mm.
but like they never were like a shout out.
Shout out to the fam.
Shout out.
We appreciate you.
They'll watch this. They'll
Yeah,
watch,
of course, please. Shout
right
out to the
now,
fam.
yeah. Kimberly Bond, Dave
Yes,
Bond,
yes.
Axel Bond. We give
Yes, we give them the flowers. We give them the flowers.
Everything's because of them.
Oh, shout out, man. That's beautiful.
For real. But they didn't know I was going to be in like show business or like anything like that. That was never like. Obviously, when you're naming a baby, you're not like, this kid's going to be an entertainer.
I know, yeah. That's
what.
Yeah, right.
But like the whole James Bond thing, like people, it's one of those things where in LA, like a nickname or just like something that can last a little impression, make a little impression, will make all the difference.
Bro,
so like
absolutely.
You meet someone the first day, they're like, oh, 007 or oh, James Bond. And they're like, that's not real. And I'm like, boom, real. And they're like, oh, that's dope.
And then it's easier to remember. Yeah, absolutely, man.
And then it's all it is. So like to go back to the Squid Game thing, like having that as you're meeting all the people, and we'll probably jump around all over the place, but number one thing is people in life, but like especially in Los Angeles. And all your other guests have said it, but just having that group of people together for that long, like so rarely are jobs that frequent, especially in entertainment, and go that long. Like I was there for 5, almost 6 months.
Yeah,
that's a long time. Oops, sorry, at the mic. That's a long time to see someone every single day. Some of our days, towards the beginning before you got there, man, the Christmas time was like 14 hours. Like Hayden, one of your previous guests, very famously was in the building at one point for I think 16 hours.
Oh my goodness! Shout out to Hayden, man. That's our boy right there. We love you, bro.
We were just doing like ridiculous days, barely sleeping, just coming back in and out, just so much time, and to have that level of passionate energy in the time that there was no one working. Here we all are together, and new people coming in like you, and even you were there for over half of it, but like constantly rotating in just good energy. It's something that I don't know how I would not be here without. It
was so beautiful. I love how you mentioned that, like the rotation of like there's different people coming in, but the culture still remained the same, where everyone would be like so open in the like break room, would be like chopping it up, like having a fun time. Obviously doing our work, you guys.
We were working.
We were
entertaining.
We were entertaining, doing our thing. All the malfunctions.
I know.
Shout
out the malfunctions. By the end, man.
And you've done most of the roles, probably.
Right? I mean, I guess if you want to start there, yeah. Like that was a thing where when I moved to LA, I'll rewind. I moved to LA, and I am like, you introduced me as an actor. I don't really identify as an actor, but very technically, I am a performer, entertainer, whatever.
Multi-hyphenate.
I am fortunate enough to be in SAG, and like that's total nonsense. We can tell that story, or whatever. Yeah. But I moved to LA, strike, obviously can't work. I am on LinkedIn. I knew nothing about LA. I was on LinkedIn and I looked up actor. This is not how you do things. This is not how you
look up actor. Right?
This is not how you should do things. There's no agent, audition. No. I looked up actor on LinkedIn. If you're in the entertainment industry, you understand how ridiculous that is. But because of the company that was doing Squid Game, which was shout out to Superfly. They had never done a live experience before. So they didn't really know what to do. They did Bonnaroo. They did music events. They were an event company. And events, immersives, it sounds similar on paper, but
there's
in reality,
many logistical stuff that people don't realize.
So different.
Yes.
So they just put up a call on LinkedIn. It just said, actor, submit. And I'm like, well, I'm kind of running out of options. Like, I had just been scammed. There was this whole thing.
What?
Yeah, I moved to LA. I mean, I was desperate, or not desperate, but I needed a job. I had moved, going through my savings. It's been a month. I got to get a job. Applying. People, and it's even worse now with AI, but submitted, job, had a whole online interview. They shipped me stuff. Like it was a copywriting job. And I went to school, not for acting or entertainment or anything like that. So I'm a pretty good writer and I can do that kind of stuff. I was like, oh, like it was one of those things that seemed too good to be true, but I knew people who were doing it. In retrospect, like I'm gonna describe this, people like, this guy's a fucking idiot. That's totally a scam. But I was talking to real people. At this point, AI wasn't like that prevalent.
Yeah.
Real interview, real people. They're like, and I just, long story short, they took some money from me.
Oh, man.
And the job was not real, and they totally like just evaporated when push came to shove. I was like, hey, like I don't think this is making sense. Like when I started to catch on, it was one of those things where they just ghosted completely. They took the website down because here's the thing, they were impersonating real people. And so I reached out to the real people and were like, this is like not you? And they're like, oh my God, you're being scammed. I'm like, wait, this isn't you? So they had gone through every level. They had like duped PayPal's support number to the point where they were the scammers on the other end of when I called PayPal.
Way,
It's
bro,
literally the craziest thing in my whole life. Like it's so I was just so down in the dumps. Eventually I got most of the money back because like it was this crazy thing, whatever. But I'm on the edge and I'm like, I gotta find something.
Yeah.
Actor, LinkedIn.
Yeah.
So the thing on LinkedIn says we just need actors who are 5'11" and above. And I'm like,
shout out to our boy right
yeah,
here.
and I'm like, no talent, there's no nothing. And I'm like, okay, sure. Like, and then I get a call from someone in New York, and they're like, yeah, this is for Squid Game. I'm like, Squid Game?
Like the show.
Like the show, and right, I'll pass through most of it because I'm sure you guys have heard the story before. But basically, these people on the phone, like, we need people to be guards. We just need guards for the experience. And I have some experience in costume and stuff like that, and we can get into that. But anyway, so I was confident. I was like, okay, sure, guard. I can do that. Seems like an easy gig, whatever. Eventually I get it, and we show up, and I'm not sure how familiar you are with this part of the story, but in these games, you needed a host, you needed all this stuff to take these big groups of people through. They wanted none of that. They wanted it just to be all automated. All the guards, we were just going to be guards.
No
standing
way, really?
Yeah, they wanted we talked with the writer. The whole host thing was thrown in at the last minute. So the host role didn't exist. That's why we were wearing the same like shirts as like the
as the
referees.
ref. Oh my god!
Because there was like something that they completely made up literally the week before we opened, and we were rehearsing, and they're like, "Wait a second, this whole thing is broken." So I was there as like a guard, like this guy who I'm like, "Oh, I don't have
the
to
pink
act."
jumpsuit and
pink
everything.
jumpsuit.
Yeah.
You know, you've seen Squid Game. I'm like, "Oh, great! I don't have to act. I don't have to do anything. I can just stand there in a guard and collect a paycheck." Great. And then they're like, "Okay, actually, can you do like 90-minute stand-up sets?" Which is basically like what we ended up doing, and I was like, sure. So I guess to the theme of your show and staying positive, one of my like takeaways in that experience was just I'm like a kind of person who I always say yes. You just always say yes because you never know. You never know what the opportunity is going to be, and like if it had all gone by the book on this actor, you're a guard on LinkedIn thing, that's not what I signed up for. But being able to practice or just like express myself in that way and doing these like literally you're doing performance art for 90 like improv performance art all of a sudden, and then you're working with other creative people, other artists, and like then it became a whole different thing. And like you said, I got into this because you said you did every role, because we started as guards, then I was performing, and then I would do the front man, and then I would
he was the front man guy.
Spoiler, shout out, you got to get AJ on the show.
Oh yeah, no,
AJ,
he's killing it too.
He's awesome. And he was really the front man. Or London. Oh my god.
Yeah, London. I'm actually gonna try to get London soon. Okay, actually, shout out
London. Shout out London. But then I was doing the behind the scenes stuff, because ultimately the Superfly people, and I love them to death. And if I ever saw them again, I'd give them a big hug. But they were really like sick of working with Netflix and sick of working with it. And then by the end, they were just like so done with like, we don't give a damn about what happened. They were probably losing. I mean, it was years ago now, so I hope the statute of limitations is up.
Yeah, it should be chilled out.
I don't think they were losing like hundreds of thousands of dollars.
Makes sense, yeah.
Like on this thing. And so by the end, like I was just like doing everything. And that was such a valuable experience though, because if you just say yes to things and just put yourself in those environments, I think just learning from what's around you, and that goes to like a small wins kind of thing, or taking stock of your surroundings, is even when I'm only in a space for one day. And sometimes that can feel like a failure, or that can feel like a loss. Like, because, sometimes you're on a show, for example, that goes for 6 months. I only got to do one day. Oh, that was so much work. Or, oh, that was so many experiences. But if you're there for that one day, and you pay attention to the professionals around you, the good people around you, and you can learn from that experience and then turn that into something, I think that's, to turn that into momentum, it really is just about paying attention. Because there's something to say about, luck and motivation, and there's so many factors in life, and no one's life, you can't always follow someone else's path. But I genuinely do believe that the world around you is just, the answers are there to some degree. There's never going to be 100%. This is the answer to all of your problems.
Absolutely, yeah.
But there's at least truth in some of the just things going on. I'm struggling for another word, so I'm just repeating myself. But I don't know. There's something that's really cool there. But that Squid Game experience was all about that for me.
Man, listen, man, with the fire already, he coming in hot. What are you going to talk about
right.
where he's from? He came with the fire, bro.
Yeah, we got to go back to the beginning now.
Yeah, now we have to cycle back. Well, first of all, man, more flowers to you, man. I'm so grateful we met again for the Squid Game stuff, and hopefully we have another project coming soon. But let's run it back to the OG days. We did mention the parents right there. Shout out to the parents out there.
Shout out.
South Philly.
South Philly.
Yes, man. Tell me what life was like, 5-year-old Levi, 6-year-old.
5-year-old Levi,
youngin' days, right there.
Specifically, 5-year-old Levi was growing up in a concrete cube kind of thing in a sandbox. Yeah, I mean, I love getting to talk about this. So thank you for the opportunity.
Of course.
I'm sort of just getting emotional talking about it because I don't really get to talk about this at all. Especially out here, LA, a city of transplants. You often will say like, "Oh, I'm from this place," "Oh, I'm from that place," and then you just move on.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Because either no one's from here, or you're like, "Oh, I've been here all my life,"
and it's
like,
just a quick turnaround. Yeah,
that's it. But yeah, so I was born in South Philadelphia. My parents, they worked together, which is not always a typical thing, and they had a chain of hair salons, American Mortals. Shout out. Now they don't own it anymore.
Oh, okay.
We'll get there. That's a whole thing, but it's still going. It's still out there. So if you're in Philadelphia, get your haircut at American Mortals. There's no residuals. I won't see any of that. But like,
really?
No, I won't. No, I won't. But just support the brand. For whatever that's
if
worth.
they're watching
Shout
this,
out. Yeah, hey,
we'll tag you. We'll tag you.
Shout out. But I grew up in like first 5 years, little apartment, South Philly. I was obsessed with like trucks, like when like the cement truck would come by. That's the coolest thing I've ever seen. I'd hang out in the sandbox. I loved watching, Scooby-Doo and Star Wars, of course.
Mm-hmm.
My mom in specific, she would just show me these things. I don't think it was like sometimes, at least in the modern day, there's the iPad kids or whatever. Like you give your kid something to distract the kid, and like it wasn't like that. It was like from a genuine passion of like, look at this cool thing.
And it's usually like the stuff that your parents liked. You know what I'm saying? Like I used to watch a lot of martial arts movies because my dad, he would be watching all that stuff, and then horror movie, which I hate now. He used to watch like the Chucky's, bro.
My brother, Axel, he was all over. Yeah, Friday the 13th, Chucky,
God,
Nightmare on Elm Street.
Any clown stuff, man? Oh,
that's all of it.
Hell no. I'm out.
Yeah, I'm out too.
I can't run it.
It was always on. He was obsessed with that stuff. But anyway, it was all older stuff. I mean, and my parents were always, they've never been technologically inclined. So it was the early 2000s. I was born in 01, but it was still VHSs. It was still CRT TVs. It was never, they weren't like, I gotta get the new Blu-ray player. We gotta get the new DVD player. Like they weren't like that. They're like, it works. So
I love that.
Growing up with like older stuff, and I loved having that experience. But more importantly, for me, growing up in a city like Philadelphia and being in American Mortals, the hair salon, there's constant movement, and the way that a hair salon runs is very funny. Is somewhat similar in the way that the entertainment industry can be sometimes, because it's all about balancing like the egos of your stylists, and these stylists are like the actors, and they're trying to book their own customers and they book their own roles in this way, and they're all like such characters, and being exposed to those types of people and they're all creative, they're all have their own like super unique experiences from their own backgrounds. And Philadelphia is also a majority minority city, and being exposed to all different cultures, all different peoples. Like I am so grateful that I grew up on the East Coast with that kind of experience. Like two of my biggest role models as like a kid, like at elementary school. Eventually we moved out of the inner city to like a suburb, but still like 30 minutes because my mom took the train into work every day. Like it was still like right there. But like at my elementary school, like my fifth grade teacher were these two like just strong black women who were both drill sergeants in the military. Like literally. Wow. She was in the Navy, and then she worked for Coke. Exactly. Shout out on the Chappelle.
Yes.
And she was like, I would not be the person I am today without that. And I'm so glad I had that in my life. And like I just trying to understand different people, and when I meet them out here, like, oh, like you are the way you are because you didn't have some of these experiences, or I don't know, especially there's no politics here, but especially in like today's age when stuff is so like intense all the time, you know, like some of it is just not even like a malicious thing, but you weren't exposed to the right, like good people. And that goes to now, like just taking in the goodness or observing some of these things around you, or there's just, it was everyone. I could do anything. Like I had, I think once again, the statute of limitations up on this. I had the crush on this cutest Korean girl. Tiffany
안녕하세요, come on, 안녕하세요.
Shout out.
I tell you, man.
In fifth grade, and like getting to go to her house, and then like going over with all my Indian friends to celebrate like Diwali.
This is my brother. I told
like
y'all.
that stuff is like awesome. And as a kid, you're just soaking in all this cultural information,
and you're still way more innocent and more open to it.
You're like,
nowadays people are like, what is
that? And it's like, it's just, I was like, I don't know, this is awesome.
Yeah, you're like, I got free stuff, good food.
Free stuff, good
we
food,
get to dance. Like,
good
what
people,
else?
like,
Yeah.
and just experiencing those cultures. But to take it back to your question, like my parents instilling in me, like just go do these things. And they never like held me back, or there was no any rules. Like they're pretty atypical parents in that way. So I don't know. Yeah, Philadelphia and Pennsylvania, in the Philadelphia area, like I think it just gave me a really good sense of the world, for whatever that's worth.
Well, this explains why it was so easy for us to connect, man. Because like I kind of had the similar like upbringing. I was born in Norwalk, Connecticut, predominantly like white neighborhood.
Yeah.
You know, only Asian kid over there. Then I moved to Bridgeport, Connecticut, where it was like more diverse, a lot more Hispanics, blacks. So always feeling like the outsider. But it always reminded me that like even though I'm different, there's still stuff that brings us together. Obviously, we like to smile. Everyone likes to eat. We need to use the bathroom. You know,
everybody poops.
Yeah, literally. Shout out to poop. You know?
Shout out.
You know, so it's like that's the beauty of life, and I feel like you mentioned earlier, a lot of the times people just they learn about that through experience, and not a lot of people get to experience like different cultures. Unfortunately, they usually stay in their bubble.
Yeah.
And they don't experience, the Korean culture. Shout out to you if you.
Shout out Tiffany if you're watching.
If you're watching, but if Levi's girlfriend watches,
don't watch this part. No, don't watch this part.
But are you dating a?
I am. Oh no, sorry. So finish the question.
Oh, are you dating an Asian girl?
It's funny. No, but she always gets. People always think that she's Asian.
This is why I was asking, because I saw a picture. I was like, is she Asian? I
hope she watches this because she's gonna get a kick out of that.
I really thought. I was like, wait a minute.
People always think that she's Wasian, as it's known, but no, she's Dominican.
Oh, yeah. Que lo que más, amigo? Hey, I knew this guy's a culture man. Bro, I love the Caribbean, bro. I used to date a Puerto Rican. Shout out to you, ex-girlfriend. But Spanish people, like the culture, man, the food, the plantain. Yeah. I love the plantains, man. Man, how did y'all meet, by the way? That's
college. Skipping ahead. So before I get there, so Philadelphia, family, all that. 2008 financial crisis. Everyone remembers that. Great times. Bad. I'm truncating the story, and my parents might call me and be like, "That's not what happened." But from my point of view,
of course.
Financial crisis, things start going downhill. They're both such artistic, passionate people. That's where I get it. It all comes from family. That's where I get it from. Like I mean, like to paint a picture of the salon, like literally the floors, they had this custom like Jackson Pollock paintings, like the splatter.
Yeah, absolutely.
They had like wood. They got unfinished wood, splattered it all with paint, and then like a layer of like lacquer over it, so the floors were like this painted like crazy. Like you don't need to do all that,
but they did. That's a passion, man.
That's passion
and innovation too. Wow.
And like the art, the walls were all like local artists, like these big murals, and it's like I don't know. They were passionate, still are passionate, artistic people.
Are they from that area, by the way? I forgot to ask.
Yeah. My mom was born in Germany, military brat.
Oh,
and
wow.
She moved all over the place. She doesn't really have a home. Texas, Kansas, Virginia, back to Germany, My dad though is very similar trajectory. He was born in Pennsylvania, Seattle, Montana, back to Pennsylvania, Seattle. It's just he's been
hopping around.
Wow,
like,
he's been hopping around.
Wow.
Yeah, and he was in a band in the 90s.
Oh
shout out Gnome. There's one album out there.
How do you spell that?
Gnome.
Oh, like gnome. Like a gnome.
Like a gnome. They got one album. It's pretty good.
Oh, I gotta check
it out. And it's anyway. Very creative people, but salon didn't go the way I think they were wanting to, or raising the kids, or whatever it was. It just wasn't working, and they wanted to move across the country to Seattle to be with all of my dad's family was there,
gotcha.
All in one place,
okay.
Like all of his siblings. We don't need to go into this tangent, but he has like 11 siblings.
Oh man,
4 main ones, 2 halves, 6 steps, something like that.
Wow.
So it's like 11 or 12.
Big family.
But big family, yeah. But all of his 4 full siblings were all like literally in like the same place. So I was like, it makes sense to just like,
of course, yeah, for extra support,
go be there. So sold the business, moved west, and I lived on an island. Bainbridge Island.
I know you were an island boy. That's my boy, right? Island boy.
It's in this Seattle, or the Seattle Sound is known. So if you're a football fan, like the Sounders.
Is that inspired?
Yeah, the Sound.
What?
Yeah.
Bro, I didn't know
there you
that.
go.
Wow.
You learned something new.
Fun fact.
Fun fact. And if you look up Bainbridge Island, you're gonna be like, "Damn, he's posh, he's rich." But like, no, don't worry. Don't worry. It wasn't like that. We were in a little cube at first. We lived in this place called Hidden Cove. It was literally like the size of this room. little place on the beach. It's like crazy. And then we lived anyway in the woods, middle of the woods. There's a whole thing. But traditionally, this place is like old, rich, white people, like who are like. There's like no kids. There's only like 20,000 people on this island.
Oh my goodness!
But there is a high school, because the way that also here's a fun fact for you guys. The way that public schools work, it's all about property taxes, and so if you're in whatever, we don't need to go there. The school was really nice, so I was not particularly like super well off, but I got afforded a very good public education. I never went to private school or anything like that, but like the public school I went to, I was so fortunate to just be in the right area. to leap back a second. Also, the thing, we moved across the country in Pennsylvania, where I was. It was K through 6th. People go, okay, maybe the elementary school. But then it was 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. It's kind of weird. Usually high school is 4 years, but middle school was 3, high school was 3. Yeah, kind of weird. But so I was in 8th grade when I moved. And so like I'm getting all my friends. I'm just sort of coming into my own. I was in the orchestra. I played the bass, man. I was all about it. I was beat.
That's right.
Shout out Mr. Pimentel.
All the shout outs. We love it. Yeah.
All my fans out there. The P2 orchestra. We were the best youth orchestra.
Yeah. Okay. P2 orchestra.
We go to Hershey Park, man.
Man, I forget Hershey Park is near there. You're right.
Yeah, we were performing.
Man, that's sick, man.
And then moving, I totally dropped music because they didn't have an orchestra on this tiny little island. And then my parents were like, oh, but you're going to high school. So it's just like going to high school. Everyone's not going to know each other. Everyone will be new. Don't worry about it. You'll make friends. Yeah. And then we moved to a fucking island. Everyone's known each other who's been on this island since birth. It's an island. So of course everyone knows each other. So everyone's like,
the whole clique.
So I'm like, oh, well, this is bullshit. Like, I don't know anyone. So I went to high school, and this amazing high school, but like, I total outcast, like initially, right? And I'd also at the time I was shaving my head. It was a whole thing.
Oh man, okay, rebel.
Just dropping these things in there. Yeah. So I'm like this bald kid from out of town who everyone on this island like.
Were you already like above 6 feet that time? Or?
I was like getting close, yeah. So I was kind of tall.
So you definitely stood out.
I stood out. And I was like bald head, and I'm like, man. I was going back and like looking back, I'm like, man, what? And it's all these like posh kids who have known each other literally since birth, since birth. And I'm like, man, what the hell do I do? So the first couple months were crazy. This is a funny anecdote. I asked out without knowing like the most popular girl in school, the homecoming, because I was just like a crazy person. And I was like, you know what? I'm gonna show up and do something crazy. Yeah. And she said yes. And then later that night she had to call me. She's like, dude, you just got in the middle of like a whole thing like that's been going on since like 7th grade with this guy Spencer, and like a Mean Girls thing. Like like you get the picture of like going on, going on, like and then this happened with Janelle and with Shannon, and I was like,
it's all petty stuff.
And she was like, so I can't go with you, and I was like, damn, and it crushed me. And so that was my September. October.
Hey, but shoot or shoot though, you did it though, hey man, let's go.
That's what it's about.
That's what it's about. That's a lesson, right?
It's a lesson. But then I was like, what am I gonna do? And Hayden mentioned this about getting mates. What's the quickest way to get mates? It's to join a sports team. And so in Seattle, rowing is a big thing. And I was never like great with hand-eye coordination, but throw me on the water, put me in a little leotard, and I'll get on the water and I'll row.
Hey man!
And so then I rowed all of high school, and that's where I made all my friends,
all the connections.
All the connections.
No, sports is a really big thing. Like it's like whether it's soccer, golf, whatever it is, it really just brings people together. Honestly,
it brings people together. I mean, it's a natural. Just a natural adhesive when you're in the case of rowing, you're literally in like this 3 foot wide like shell, and you're all freezing your asses off in the fall.
So y'all bond. It's like trauma bonding.
It's literally literally trauma bonding.
And you guys wake up early as hell too, right?
Oh yeah, I mean, regardless, we were getting up at like 5 a.m. We're getting out in the water. It's like 30 degrees.
Oh my
water
goodness,
in the wrong time. But I have so many good people. A lot of them I still know, and that instilled in me to connect it. That type of thing where it's just about being in the right environment and observing and surrounding yourself with people. It's all about people. It's all about people. And that was like a game changer for me in terms of, okay, now I have friends. And then high school it became something else for me.
Did you grow out your hair then? Or?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
And then I grew out my hair. And it's here now. I just wanted to wear
surprise.
It's here. I just wanted to wear this nice hat. But yeah, so then I had friends. And then high school became, okay, then you start to think about college. Then you start to think about, oh my God. And then it was, I couldn't even like conceive college. Like college was like, I was like, I don't even understand what this means. This is like 9th grade, you're 14. Like thinking back, like
I know it's kind of crazy. They already make us think about it.
A 14-year-old trying to think about these big life decisions. It's like, man, I do not wish that. I wouldn't wish that on my worst enemy.
Yeah, and even nowadays, it's like seventh graders think about it too already. Like
Yeah, when they're
my
in
younger
pre-college,
siblings,
like,
I'm like, what?
How? Like, how can you even conceive of these things? Like, have fun, enjoy.
I
enjoy
know,
when you
yeah,
don't have any responsibilities.
It's so crazy. Yeah, you're right, man. Like in middle school, there have some of my cousins. They're already thinking about it, and they're like, "Bro, you're seventh grade, bro." I was like, "Pick my nose."
Yeah,
You know,
literally,
like-
it's bizarre. I'm not thinking about that stuff. But anyway, but like I couldn't conceive of college outside of where I went, which was the University of Washington, because I had family there and I had gone there. Most people probably have heard of it because of either the football team or the cherry blossoms. People know the pink cherry blossoms. But I had gone, there in like 2013 to visit family, and we just went by the campus. And as like a seventh grader, because this was me in seventh grade, I was on this college campus, and I went, "Oh, this is college. Like this is the college. Like
this is it.
This is literally what college is." And I don't mean that in like in a metaphorical sense. Like I literally thought there was like one college, like one college,
legit.
Like so there's high school, middle school, and then you come here for college.
This is the only option.
This is the only option. And it's like you can go back and you can see me wearing like University of Washington sweaters.
That's so funny,
in Pennsylvania, and it's like this super weird like prescient thing. So when the time came, I took a huge risk, and I was like, I'm getting into this school. Like when I actually figured out where it was or what it was. And like if I go back now, I'd probably go to some like performing arts school or some
Juilliard.
No, not like that. You know, but something like kind of BS. I'm so glad what happened. But like in my head, I'm like, I just have to apply to this one school, and that's all I did. Which
you only applied to one school,
which is like psychopathic.
That's kind of crazy, but I'm not gonna lie to you. Yeah,
no,
that's
it is.
Ballsy, right?
It's like I said, I was just so locked in, like from a young age of like, oh, I'm going to.
This is it.
This is the college. And when I realized, and I think the universe, I got in, and then that was like, boom, and then COVID hit, and then we're really going. I'm telling you, you're getting my whole freaking truncated life.
No, that's insane. Yeah, when did you graduate then?
I graduated 2023, so I started 2019, and then so I got like 6 months of like a normal college experience, doing the dorms, doing everything, and then I remember in January, it actually started in Washington State. The first cases were at UW, and I remember the day, and I think it's late January, February, where I read that someone with this novel virus, coronavirus, had been through JFK, like the airport. And then I was like, guys, I've seen a movie. It's over. I was like, once the disease gets to there, and I was one of the first people. This is like such a strange.
Oh my God! Wow.
But I was like back in January, February. I was like, guys, it's over. I'm like, it's done. And they're like, Levi, you're being over. I'm like, we are going home. Like this is gonna be bad.
Hey man, you guessed it right, man.
And then a month later, it's like we were. And then what happened. But luckily, we were able to get back. 2021. That's when I started to do. Coming out of COVID, I switched. So I studied international security, history, and labor studies. You learned that one from the LinkedIn.
Yes, of course. That's a unique major.
It's a mix. Well, that's what I was good at. Like at first I went into college and I thought, okay, I need money. I'm gonna do business.
I need money.
And then I'm like, oh my God, business is like the least fulfilling thing to study. For me. And I was like, this is not what I'm interested in. I was like, okay, well, I'll do economy. And I was doing economy. And then I realized, well, the parts about economy that I like are the way that this interacts and impacts people, which is politics in a literal major sense. Like, this is the study of political science, not economics. And so I was studying political economy. And then I switched to international security because I was like, I kind of like the world.
Yes,
which is essentially like a global studies.
Yeah.
So, and I am so thankful that I have this as like my. I was always good at it, but like what I studied in school, because it's not what I'm actively doing now, like in terms of my career. But I love that I can like enter my own mind and be like, okay, I have this information to like fall back on about understanding the world around me, which I think
you can channel honestly a lot of the stuff you learn from college. I'm sure you agree, because I had a communication degree, started off as theater, and I did like Asian studies, not just because I'm Asian, but because it was like easy to overlap, because the language and everything. But now, like when I think about it, I'm so grateful for all the random classes I've taken, and it helps a lot with like everything. Every little thing. If you can find a way to connect it, it helps with whatever career you're going through. I mean, especially in entertainment. The more you kind of know, sometimes you just gotta BS your way through things.
Yeah, absolutely. Always say yes. That's my thing.
That's the thing.
Yes. Can you do the XYZ? Absolutely.
Absolutely.
And I look up a video.
And then, especially now with AI stuff, come on now. If you use the tools the right way, you can figure out anything nowadays.
Yeah, you can. Anyway. So, but I was studying that stuff, and then COVID happens. I'm finishing my classes, okay, getting ahead, whatever. And I'm like, in COVID, that was really when, 2021 specific, I was like, wait a second. don't I like movies?
He's like, I like Star Wars.
Because I was in the film club, and I'd always loved Star Wars. That's certainly one pillar of me. But everything, I'm wearing this sweet Kill Bill shirt.
Yeah.
To represent that. But like I was always like, wait a second, I like entertainment too, and media and art. Like, why can't I study that? And I was typing it in, and I was like, oh, we do have a program. And then, so coming out of COVID, I started taking screenwriting classes. And I was like, okay. And it was one of those things, like you said, you could overlap, and you can double major. I want to be clear: if there's anyone in the audience who does not have a college degree, didn't go to college, I think all of these things. I don't think you need to. I don't think you need to go to college. All of these things are absolutely out there, like on the internet or in books, and like what I am taking away from college, and this is an experience you can get in a lot of places, was like the people element. Because did I need to pay tens of thousands of dollars for some of this information? Absolutely not. If you have that drive, you can get there. And I think a large part of like college these days is not a scam, but like, I don't know. It definitely, it's not the best to be like, hey, 18-year-old, give me $70,000 of your dollars and you'll be in debt for the rest of your life.
For real. It's like, you don't have to pay it for a little bit.
Yeah, you're not thinking about it because these are literal children.
Yeah.
Like when you think back now, and I'm only in my mid-20s now, but I'm like, why do we do that to like teenagers? Like they don't know what the hell they're doing or what they're going on. Like it's such like a predatory thing. So if this conversation isn't resonating with you because like the college aspect, I totally get it. But like it's just the people element is what I'm thinking about, surrounding yourself with people.
The beauty of college, like I also was a little bit peer pressured because I'm the oldest of like 6 kids, first gen, like we try to make out the hood. So my parents were like, hey, y'all, college education is number one.
Yeah, my parents didn't go out there.
So it's like I get the whole appeal behind it, but it really isn't for everyone. I'm grateful for like my personal journey. I'm sure with your personal journey, like we went because like we met a lot of great people, learned more stuff and everything. But if you don't have the funds, that's another big thing because college is getting more
ridiculously expensive.
It's ridiculous, bro. Almost like 6 figures for I'm like a year. That's insane.
I know. And they give you a piece of paper that says, "Well, you know this stuff now." And in the entertainment industry, to get there, I have never been asked about my college degree ever once. But how could you know that? Like I said, as a teenager, like trying to figure that stuff out, like you shouldn't be asked to think about these things. Anyway, so I started shifting to like entertainment. Like, wait, I can study screenwriting. I can understand like the process of a movie, of art, and like these are things that make me. I like these things. How do they work? And then just starting to do that, and then by end of 2021 fall, it was hybrid classes, and then eventually we were back to in person because you got to remember it was freaking COVID and like all the madness of that and ridiculous times to be alive. I was working at a grocery store. I was a frontline worker. And I got what they called hero pay.
Okay, hero pay.
I was rolling in it then.
Yeah,
man. I got the hero dealing with people then, and just you're literally, like I said, a teenager, and you're on the front line of like a pandemic, and you have people like accosting you and yelling you, and there's like runs on toilet paper, and you're running out of like apples, and you're like, like what's going on? And like they're making all these college kids deal with it. It's like we live in such a funny world.
It's unique. Yeah.
When you take a step back from it, like you got to appreciate some of those moments. So I'm studying film now, and then. Well, I mean, you probably have it worked in there because I know you keep referencing the Star Wars thing, and I'm like, we'll get there. I'll avoid it. But then I get to once again super truncate the story. Actually, no, I won't. I'll expand it because I'm on a podcast.
Please.
Let's talk about podcasts. Also with the things in COVID, how could I have forgotten this? One of the main things of part of the shift was I started a podcast.
Yes.
Started a podcast. Yes. Shout out to shows, all the podcasts out there, and you're just online all the time. And so you're talking to people in like chat rooms on forums and it's
all that stuff,
all that stuff. And it's like you're kind of for 2020, at least I was like literally trapped in your room.
Yeah,
you're trapped.
That becomes your new community, world.
That becomes your community. I had a partner at the time, and that was part of it. But even then, it was all like you're all on FaceTime because you're trapped in a room.
Yeah,
you can see each other. So like it was isolating still. So anyway, I literally out of the blue one day, there's this guy who I've been talking to, and I hit him up. I said, "Can I just call you on Discord?" And he was like, "Sure." That guy is my roommate now. Shout out Johnny.
Yeah.
Friend for life after this. But literally just out of the blue type thing. We'd been talking back and forth, but never seen him before. Never really talked to him before. Hey, can you open Discord? Sure. And then I just hit him with the same sort of deal where you just come at it. I said, I'm gonna join your YouTube channel, and we're gonna do YouTube channel together. And he was like,
Okay, sure, let's do
And
it.
it's one of those things where, like, I don't know if that would happen today on the internet. The internet's such a strange place, and we've gotten to grow up with seeing the change of the internet.
Oh yeah, the evolution of
the
it.
evolution and the
Yeah.
golden age, and everyone. There's something about nostalgia, but I really do believe that, like, 2008 to like 2012, that was like of the internet, man.
Peak, man.
That was peak.
man.
It was a different time. It was a more innocent time, and
Yeah.
like the world, of course, had its problems. But I'm talking specifically about the internet.
Yeah.
It was just a better place.
It was so wholesome,
so
man.
wholesome. It was
YouTube especially too. It was like you could tell everyone was just like there for the vibes,
It was
man.
good vibes. It was good vibes, and that also hugely impacts like who I am as a person, because that's what I grew up with. Outside of like my parents showing me stuff or whatever, I mean, I was pretty, I don't say antisocial, because in retrospect, and it's kind of crazy that my parents just let me do it. But like in middle school in particular, outside of like my extracurriculars, I would just like sit and watch YouTube. And from a pretty young, I remember it was my mom's like silver iPhone 3.
Oh my god, bro, you're taking me back. I had something similar, bro. That's crazy.
And I would watch on like when the YouTube app, if you remember, it was still like a little TV.
Yeah, you're taking me back,
a little
bro.
brown TV.
Yeah,
brown TV.
dude.
It was terribly formatted.
Yeah, you're like, huh?
Like, man, what is this? What is this app? But like, I would watch like video game Let's Plays, or the early days of podcasts, which were just literally like this hybrid between vlog or my favorite, and I think these guys are still going, but like the Corridor Digital guys and Smosh, and they were like but they were trying to do something that was akin to entertainment. It was a new medium. It was a new niche of like short form content, story. This is pre-Vine, so like shorts, funny shorts, sometimes storytelling. Like the Corridor guys,
a lot of skit stuff. I remember I watched a lot of skit stuff, man.
Skits, but like having these like neurons firing in my head that young, that often, of like, oh, this is really cool, and like the internet being a function of that, and that are all sort of built into streaming. Whatever, you guys know the story.
Yeah.
You've lived it too, and now we are where we are. But so when it's COVID and you're forced online again, here we are. We're back in that ecosystem. What can I do? I can create. Maybe I can talk, because I love these things. I've loved these things all my life. Maybe I can just talk about these things, and maybe someone will listen. So starting that. So now I have a podcast. Now I'm studying film. So now it feels like, okay, maybe this is like more of the trajectory.
That's what you want to do. Yeah.
Trajectory of my life. And that, I think 2021 is where, like, that's where the seeds of where I fully am now are there from. Like, that was the big pivot because of COVID, because of school, because of just the environment, the internet. There I am. Okay, so now there's that. And then in 2022, I get this call. Essentially, once again, now I'm truncating the story, because it's all people who you meet online. Going to conventions. Shout out Star Wars Celebration, which will be in LA.
Oh, really?
2027.
Oh, nice.
LA Convention Center. All my LA Comic Con heads.
Oh, that's awesome.
WonderCon. If you like the con scene out there.
If you like the con scene,
I'm trying not to get too niche with it. We keep the Patty Show open to all audiences. I'm kind of a big nerd, so we could really turn this podcast into something hyper niche. You're all going to click off, but I won't. I won't. Anyway, so from that, I get a call being like, "Hey, man, I think that you should check out this Facebook posting." And I'm like, "Facebook posting? This is like the most scam shit of all time. Like Facebook. Like, what do you mean Facebook?" At that point, I literally never been on Facebook before in my whole life. Like, of course, I was aware of it and I knew it, but like, I never had a Facebook account. Whatever. And it's literally like an email. It says, "Email this email and put in these dimensions." And I'm like, bro, like, are they trying to what are they trying to do? Like, why do they need my crotch size?
I'm like, this is
literally
shady.
I'm like, this was a little shady.
Just a little. Yeah.
So I had my roommate at the time, John. Shout out John. Take like my photos. You got to do a full body photo, and I send him the email. I'm like, dude, like, what's this about? And he's like, well, I think if you send your email to this, you send this email, like, you could be in Star Wars. And I said, I'm in Seattle at the time in my room. I'm like, what the hell are you talking about?
So you're making some stuff up
now,
now,
you're making some stuff up. Like, this is not real. And I'm in the shower. I'm thinking about it. I'm like, is this real?
Yeah, right.
Is this real? I go to sleep. I wake up. I have an email. Hey, production wants to use you. Can you be in Culver City tomorrow for a COVID test? But keep in mind, I'm in Seattle.
Yeah.
And I just said yes. I got on a plane to
I
got on a plane to LA.
Oh my
that
god!
night, and I stayed with a friend who I met on the internet.
There we go.
Shout out Brent. We're gonna keep the shout outs going.
Brent, come on now.
And this goes to show, because I know this is like a long winding story, but in terms of just being aware of the people around you and like you right now, like just keeping the positive vibes. Like Brent is someone who I still see in my life, but at the
Mhm.
time I had only like talked to him online, and it's like someone who he talked to about it. Like I hit him up, I was like, hey, can I like stay at your place? And he was like, absolutely, you
Yeah.
can.
And you never know if you don't ask. You
And
know, you might as well
never know.
shoot your shot like
You
before.
never know.
Remember?
Yeah, you never know if you don't ask. And just being a positive force in your own community.
Yeah.
And when I say community, I mean like literally like you yourself are the world. You're bringing your world into your everyday. Just keeping that positivity in your community. And I know sometimes it seems hard, but like people will remember that. People will pick up on that vibe. And when you have these moments, they want to support you because they're like, hell yeah.
Yeah.
So I fly down to LA from Seattle the next day. Like, this is insane. And I go to Culver City where I'm staying in someone who I've never met basically never met before. Like, it's just so bizarre. And I get there, I take the COVID test, and I go to this like nondescript warehouse in Manhattan Beach. Literally, it's like a cube that there's nothing in. I'm like, this is like the most, like, I'm gonna get shanked.
Yeah, this is
I'm
wrapped. He's like, I've been in Philly, I know.
I am done. It's like over in El Segundo. And I go and I walk in, and it's these two wonderful people, Frederick and Gio, shout out, who I still see. I saw Frederick just last week.
Oh, wow, that's awesome, man.
And they're like, hi, and they're taking my measurements. They're like, we saw that you said this, like, let's do a remeasure. To this day, they said I was 6 foot. That's BS. I think that's wrong. I'm not 6 foot. Whatever,
bro. At least 6'3", bro.
Allegedly.
Come on now.
Anyway, so I still hold people with that. They were like, they pull up the table, like, yeah, you're like 5'11", 6 foot. I'm like,
what?
I'm like, all right, whatever you say. I'm not gonna push back. And then they pull out this big box, like a big like one of those like black, like you see it for like gardening tools, like in someone's shed. Like it's like it's like a big nondescript box. They open the box, and inside is just like some stormtrooper armor. They're like, all right, put it on.
Way, dude.
They're like, put it on, and I'm like,
I know. 5-year-old Levi, like, what the heck?
All versions of Levi,
bro.
Is like, and then from that moment on is when like my life like just fully changed, and I got to be in Star Wars as a stormtrooper. I was there in LA for over a month, like working on. I'm wearing the hat today.
There we go.
There we go. Brand X stunts. Shout out.
Woo! Wow.
And like, being all of a sudden, I was in school and I was studying film, whatever, studying this and that. But here I am on this like tens of millions of dollars like movie set. And this is my first experience in the entertainment industry, like officially, like period. And I'm like, oh my God.
And you're a legit fan of this franchise.
I'm like, wait a second, I can get paid to be a stormtrooper now. Knowing now what I know now, it's not how it works at all. Like these things are not like. Effectively, it was what's known as like a background job. It just happens to be like in this way, and it's specialty, and there's all these different caveats, and I had no idea how the way that like the union rules worked, or any of it, or like how sustainable it was. The answer is not very, as you know.
Yes.
It's a constant grind and jumping from thing to thing. But in the moment, I'm like, oh my God, I can move to LA and do this every day, and then like I just wasn't thinking about it. But unbeknownst to me, I was racking up what's called like a voucher because they were below their account, and this is super super niche, and we'll get into where I am now and why I know this. But on a film production, TV, movies, it's different. You have to have a certain amount of union background people before you get to non-union, which I was not union. I never even heard of the union at that point.
Shout out to the union.
Screen Actors Guild. But like I just happened to fit this armor, and it was too much of a hassle to replace me, and they were below their count because this was such a specialty thing. So every single day I was being paid and getting like points essentially to simplify it for the union, which is something that is so difficult to do, so hard to do, that doesn't happen very often. And I had literally no idea it was happening. And I was like, what does this even mean? So like I get a letter in the mail. They're like, yeah, like you're like eligible for the union now. I'm like what? Like I don't even know what is that? And so when I figured it out, I was like, oh my God, I have to move to LA right now. So I fly back to Seattle. I had taken the semester off to do this, which was like a whole big thing. I'm like,
wow, that's insane.
Like I'm dropping the double major. Yeah. I'm not going to get a degree in film because no one's ever going to ask me. Like after being on a set for like a month, I was like, I've learned more in this 1 month than I ever have in my entire life about film production.
Yep.
And I was like, okay, I got to move. But then I'm in the union. I got to move, and I'm just getting frantic. I got to graduate. I got to get down there. But then I move, and now we're coming full circle. It was the strike. It was 2023. So it was like this. Yeah, and that led me to Squid Game, which led me to Yeah. So there's so many gaps in that story, and you can ask so many great questions. But I think just on that path, the number one thing to reiterate, just taking stock of your surroundings and observing and being in that environment, and when you're there, because you think, in the case of something like Star Wars, that was a dream come true, right? So of course I was freaking out, all that stuff, whatever. But being able just to observe some of those people, like watch and see, okay, this is how XYZ person thinks. This is how a camera person thinks. This is how a costumer thinks. And just trying to be empathetic to people's points of view, because a film set is just like any other job. It's actually pretty fascinating. It's all these different departments. They're literally all on different radio channels. They're not talking to each other.
Yeah.
There's a whole department designed, the AD department, to make them communicate with each other. Everyone's angry. Everyone's frantic. Everyone's rushed because they have a boss and a boss and a boss who's telling them. So just being like empathetic in those moments, like that's what people liked me, because they're like, oh my God, you're not like an asshole. Cool, I'll keep talking to you.
Yeah.
And it's like, you don't know when just literally not being an asshole is going to make someone's day, and that gives you an opportunity. It's literally sometimes it's as simple as that. Now, I personally have been incredibly fortunate, incredibly lucky, but as a general rule of thumb, I do think sometimes it is that simple of just being a nice person. And it sounds so like cookie cutter.
It sounds cliche.
Whatever. Put it on a pillow, but like I swear to God, like especially in these environments, especially if you're working in the entertainment industry, everyone is just so stressed. So even trying to schedule this, but because it's just positive vibes, or people like us put on positive vibes. And like at Squid Game, it was literally all positivity between like the staff, which is why it was so much fun.
Yeah.
There was like no negativity at all.
There was like no drama really. Yeah.
Well, there was some drama, but those people were like, everyone was like, what's going on?
We know how to deal with it.
We know how to deal with it. But in so many sets, it's the opposite environment where everyone's stressed. It's all drama. So just being that person of like, yeah, man, like you're gonna be okay.
Yeah.
It's all good. Huge world of difference.
I feel like we just need those reminders, especially like in today's world right now. We don't want to get too political, but like all about. There's just too much negativity in the world, man. You see the news, and it's always a crazy headline here, crazy headline there, all that craziness. So I feel like us, even just giving a little smile to someone, to a neighbor, like a cute little Korean lady, right? You saw a random.
I did on the way in. Love her.
There we
go.
Out.
Another shout out
to all the Koreans out there. We know who you are. Speaking of shout out, would you like to shout out your girl, by the way?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, well, I was about to say yes, absolutely, but she's a little shy. I don't want to. Lexi, I'll just say her first name, Alexis.
No, shout out to you.
We love
how
Lexi.
did you all meet? I'm so curious about this story now. I want to jump into that one.
We skipped over that. So I was coming back from my first go around on Star Wars, and I thought I was hot shit, dude. I thought I was.
Hey man, I don't blame you.
I thought I was the fucking bee's knees coming back to school, because everyone was studying film, and I was like, well, I've been. To be clear, I wasn't actually. I was thinking it though.
Yeah. No, of course.
That's how I was carrying myself. I was like, because I was 21, and I was like, I know everything there is to know.
Yeah.
I know everything there is to know about film, and now I'm the big guy, and I was just and that was those first couple months. And it just so happened, like when that happened, I guess this is what I skipped over. When I got the call for Star Wars, my relationship with my girlfriend at the time of 3 years had just ended. It was like this huge like bounce.
Wow.
And sometimes the universe just like presents those things in those ways.
Absolutely.
Where you're like, oh my God, what is my life going to be now? And then opportunity, you're like, and that's the whole just like say yes. Yeah. Can you be in LA in 24 hours? Yes.
Yeah.
Sure. Of course I can. Because I don't know, life is a journey, and sometimes you just half the battle is just walking down the path.
Yeah.
And like to have that distract me and help me process, like, this thing that was my life, especially through COVID, and there was a lot of like trauma bonding there, and what had like her to make another long story short, because everyone's got long stories to life. But like her mother had passed away from COVID, like right at the start.
Wow.
Right at the start, because they didn't know what it was. And she was already in the hospital, and they like literally, it was like no one knew, because it was COVID. It was a novel thing. No one had knew it, and we know now that it was on the West Coast for a long time. So there are a lot of people who died in those first couple months, like in end of December 2019, early 2020, because no one knew. So that was like a super traumatic experience, and that pushed us together, like me being there for her. But I think in retrospect, like the relationship was a lot about just supporting her, and we were still friends now. To be clear, we talk. I was texting her just a few weeks ago.
Yeah.
But she was texting me actually about something that you might bring up,
a
certain event on YouTube.
Yes.
That maybe
We'll
you found that.
Yes, of course.
That maybe you found that she said someone, because people come up to me about it still. Well, I'll barely leave. But anyway, so she was texting me about that because she's like, people are still talking about this, and I'm like, and she was there for that, and I'm like, yeah, I know. But anyway, she's doing great. She's doing great now.
Shout out to you.
Shout out Haley. She's in a better place. But anyway, it was really dark. It was a dark thing in a relationship that was sort of made out of this kind of horrific trauma, and they just that's a difficult foundation for a relationship. Absolutely. And I had to make the decision to end it, and it's one of those things where, like I said, we talked still afterwards, and she came to me and was like, it was tough, but I think you made the right decision, because like I was also just not in the right place, and it was preventing me from like grieving and moving on in a different way. Kind of heavy, and like we could do a whole podcast about what that was like, because it was years.
Yeah, man, that's insane.
And getting to know her family, and like the problem, one of the big things was that her dad, he just couldn't grieve, and he got with another woman like within weeks, kind of thing. Man,
that's tough, dude.
Yeah, like with it, and his like high school girlfriend, or college girlfriend, and then moved in with her, moved out of their family home, sold their family home of 20 years.
Oh my goodness.
Moved to Colorado, across the country with her within this span of, I don't know, like 4 months. So
oh my goodness,
if you're
dude.
a 19-year-old, and she had a younger brother too, like if you're in your teens and like this is happening, and it's COVID, the pandemic,
yeah, you're like
your whole world is being uprooted in this deeply emotional way. Like I get it. Like it was just, so being there for all that stuff, like I was literally there in California as it was in San Francisco, as these things were going on in this family, and like being a part of that, you get connected to a lot of those people.
Absolutely.
And like they become like an extension of family, and I loved her extended family, and I still love them now. You know, if I saw them, like I would love to, you know, just hang out kind of thing. But it was super emotional, and because they were all going through this, like, oh my God, my brother-in-law is marrying this other woman, or, you know, I'm talking all this, and it was just crazy.
Yeah.
So for years,
oh my God.
It was so much. Anyway, and then for that all to come to a head, and then just like bounce out of that into Star Wars was crazy. And then coming back from that, I'm like, okay, now I'm single. Now I know everything you know about.
I'm a grown man now.
About life. I'm a grown man now.
Yes.
So I had to give that context of like, it was this deeply emotional thing, traumatic thing, type of relationship, to the most happy I've ever been, to
that emotional high and
emotional high, emotional low, and finding that balance in that fall. And, you know, tried dating, whatever, it wasn't really working out. And then it was talking about the clubs thing. You know, in high school it was rowing. In college it was the film club, film production club. Shout out UW Film Club.
Yes.
Love all those people. And I went to a meeting one day, and it was February, and I saw her walking through the door, and that was
shoot or shoot. Remember?
Yeah, exactly. And like.
So what'd you say? You said like,
that
hey,
was
girl.
it. I don't think we really. In fact, we talked about Kill Bill that night.
Oh my God! Look at that.
Part of the reason why I wore the shirt,
I love this.
A little
continuity.
A little connection. Yeah, she loves Kill Bill, and that was just like something we had like a semi-shared friend group, and it was one of those things where it was like, oh, let's like all go out to like dinner after this, and I was like trying to talk to her, and I was like, oh, and it took.
Bro, those are the best. Like it's like an organic meetup. The vibe is there, and then you have a one-on-one conversation on the side. Wow,
trying to.
Okay, player. Okay,
she made it. You know, she made it difficult, but I remember I came on so strong, man. There was like because at the time I already knew I was moving to LA, and so like that would be. Any relationship would like become a long distance one, and this is like, I swear to God, man, like maybe the fifth time I seriously talked to her. I get in her car. She'd come over to my house to go somewhere else, because we had shared friend groups. She was like, and she was doing a thing too. She's like, oh, I can pick you up. I'm on the way. And I was like, yeah, you can come pick me up. We can hang out. But when I get in her car that night, and I was like, hey, here's the deal. Like, I like you. I think we could work out. And if I leave, I'll do a long distance relationship.
Oh, player, this is
I just laid it on. Thick. Like I went for it.
He's the front man. He's him.
He plays the game. Facility. Yeah.
He runs this facility. You saw
that? That's a shout out. That was a joke.
If you guys know, you know. Oh my God, all the lines, bro.
I can give them all to you. Yeah.
Bro, that's
Yeah.
insane. And then
It's egg and spoon. The last player with an egg on their spoon. Good times.
so you guys have been dating for how long now? It's been
So officially, well, we don't agree on this. There's many ups and downs along the way, but I say April because April. So over 2 years. Well, 2.5 years now. I say April because that was our first date, and I think okay, well, it's for how long we've been dating.
that's
I don't
bro.
know.
I agree too, man. I
don't know, like,
don't put that in the
Because we
comments.
were always, like I said, like, because I was right up front with her, like, from the start. I
Yeah.
was like, listen, I have these feelings for you. And she understandably, she's like, well, I think it's from when it was official, which was May. So, but I'm like, so that's, that's,
Oh yeah, no, I
there's
know,
something
yeah.
there. There's something there. But I'm like, this is our first date, was this day, April 9th, 2023. So I'm like, that's for me. That's the real official start. I don't know. I always say 2 years, and she'll say something else.
Yeah.
but-
Are you guys long distance right now, or are you guys?
No. She lives in LA now.
Oh wow, that's awesome.
No, that was tough. We've totally pivoted to relationship,
Mhm.
but yeah, the long distance thing was tough for a long time because we were together for like 4 or 5 months
Mhm.
in Seattle, and that was like super intense. Like spending a lot of time together, because
Yeah.
it was like a new relationship, and sometimes that like honeymoon phase,
Yeah,
is
the puppy love.
the
You
puppy
know,
love
yeah,
is
yeah.
super,
Strong.
super intense, and we were both coming out of like long relationships. Like,
Y'all the same year, by the way? Or?
yeah,
Okay.
yeah. She's a little older than me, but not by much. Both coming out of like super long relationships. Of course, she has her own trauma, own past.
Yeah.
Just like I have my own trauma, own past,
Mhm.
own stories, and like you have to. We went very, very quick. So it's like then retroactively unpacking like, okay, this is some shit I'm going through.
Mhm.
Like, okay, getting there, and then being like, all right, now I gotta go. It's like, whew,
Yeah, man, that's a big quick turnaround.
that's
right
tough. It's tough, and like I'll see you in 12 months. We would see each other about every month and a half. She would fly here, I would fly there. So
There. Did she ever play any of the Squid Games?
She never
games?
did.
No, okay.
She never did. I kept her updated on all that. Don't worry.
Okay, good.
No,
Yeah. All the tea. All the tea. Yeah.
There was almost a point where I got like a big group of my friends to come down. But it never worked out because I was like, I want them to play Squid Game. I want them to come to the Squid Game so bad because that was just like, oh man, I know it was so funny. That's one of those things too where it's a long distance relationship. And I would always make the joke. We were like, oh, I wonder what he's doing. And like, meanwhile, I'm like dressed as the front man, drinking like a frappuccino.
For real, yeah. Playing with egg and spoon, just balancing.
playing egg and
with the egg and
spoon.
spoon over.
It's like I'm here for 14 hours.
Yeah. Hallucinating and everything.
I'm laying down in my costume in the hallway. I don't know if you probably see.
Oh
me.
yeah,
Like, back
yeah.
in the-
Or you know, in the last room, bro, with the beds.
Yeah, the beds. I would take a nap in the beds. Like I'm out, man. Like I think I would call her in there sometimes. That's fun.
Oh yeah,
yeah. I would talk to her. I'd be like, here I am. And
he's like, hey, look, we got nothing. Yeah, if it's a chill day, bro, there's like,
There were
and
some
you
times.
can always tell when like a group is coming. So it's
Yeah.
like the craziest days though. I forgot who I was talking to, which episode with, but the back-to-back ones, bro. Those were the
Don't even get me started. Q up.
Oh my god, Q. Oh my god.
Hey, Q up's we got like 20 in the queue. Okay, sure. All right, Hayden, can you take that one? Oh, hey, Q up here. There's actually another 40 people standing in the airlock. We just sent a group. Yeah, someone's got to get in there right now. And then you would just run in.
Every
my
time.
God. Like,
And
how
then
did that
you
happen?
Feel like the next person behind you is like, all right, we're gonna have to hurry up with this marbles.
Yeah,
Hurry up with these marbles.
Hey, that's it. Marbles
Collect
is
them
over.
all.
All right.
It's like, who won? You did. Good.
My favorite. I wish I could stand up and show the audience. My favorite is I would really speed things up with red light, green light, where I would yell green light.
Oh my god.
Get people out. So we gotta speed this up.
Yeah.
Some people would get it. Happened a few times.
You guys are
pissed at me, but like most people would have fun, and I would mess with. I got in trouble a couple times, like from management, like you can't do that, but everyone would always have fun.
Yeah. Come on.
Because I'm like, if there's a group behind me in in the sorting or whatever, I'd be like, we gotta get people out.
No,
I'm
for
like,
real.
Green light,
especially because I'm sure you've had the red light, green light where it took forever because that one person ended up, and they still win.
Or army crawling on
Yes,
the ground.
dude, it was like
10
what,
minutes. Yeah.
how long was the time?
It was like 5, but
that's the longest 5 minutes.
5 minutes of my life.
Of your life, y'all. I think they have it in Australia now too, right? Or
New York, I think.
New York or
I
something?
might be on Australia.
I think I saw something on the group chat, right? Someone put it on the group, yeah.
It was.
Oh, shout out to our boy Patrick. We miss you, brother.
Our brother abroad.
We'll find you
He'll
eventually.
be here. He'll
Yes,
be on this
or
couch,
maybe we
right
have to
here,
visit
brother.
him.
Okay.
We can bring the camera around to wherever.
You do the Blondies Australia show, and then you get Patrick.
Yeah, exactly. There we go.
He comes to the show.
It's all a multiverse of content and entertainment.
The Squid Game.
Squid Game universe. Oh man, we got some good ideas right here, man. Squid Game universe. Speaking
Yeah.
of universe, I want
Okay.
to backtrack to the
Shift
Star
back.
Wars stuff. I did see some videos online
Okay.
of some heated
Oh boy, here
discussions.
Here we go.
I just want to know from your point of view that whole experience, how you feel now, and maybe walk me through it during it. Like, what did you?
Yeah, man.
I want to see from your point of view, because
So
I
that-
saw so much Fugazi stuff,
There's
all
a
the
lot out there.
noise.
Oh yeah, I mean, some of it got
YouTube
taken
comments.
down.
Yeah,
I was part of that era of YouTube where there was like a genuine, because that video itself, there's 2 videos, has like hundreds and hundreds of thousands of views, and there was like videos about the video. There's like
bro, there's like React videos.
React videos. It's terrible.
I was looking up your name and I'm like, what in the world? I'm
It's
like,
bad. Oh, so yeah. So let me give you some more.
yeah, let's get the context of the video.
So remember that whole like I talked to that guy about the YouTube channel
Mhm.
thing. So that was like literally a month before. So we had started the YouTube channel.
Oh my
I
god.
started like really doing the YouTube channel in
Mhm.
earnest together, and then within like a month, I had like blown up the internet, like Star Wars, the Star Wars side of the internet.
Yeah.
It was like this huge controversy because I was at the time this is in the weeds, guys. I was the chat moderator of another live stream, and they were like relatively popular. They had like 30,000 subscribers, but some of their views would really pop off sometimes, and so like I was in that community, and then I was in this different like more positive community. Like this, I'm a nerd. We were reading books. I know it was this book community.
Shout out to the book.
And it was someone through that, and our goal was always to talk to this guy. This guy is Star Wars Theory. He's still out there.
Yeah.
He's still got his channel. You know, I'm not going to shout him out. But I'm kidding. He doesn't need a shout out. He's got a lot. He can
shout us out.
He can shout out. Yeah, exactly. But like, it was their goal to like get on his show, and at the time, it was just like so many different things.
Yeah.
Were coming together.
Mhm.
Like I was in this one community, this another community, and they're like, just like, oh, like, do you want to come on the show? And you can probably tell that I have like a pretty optimistic, positive like ethos. And at the time, and still now, like fandom discourse in general is pretty like overwhelmingly like negative.
Oh, absolutely,
And,
man.
Like the irony, I've never watched the video back. My friends always watch it, which is funny. But to my memory, I wasn't even trying to like instigate anything. I was just trying to say that, oh yeah, we could all be on here, all have different views, like keep moving on, and like that's that thing that's really beautiful. Because I was like a big fan of his. I didn't go on there. I didn't like common misconception. I did not go on there to start drama. I went on there because I loved his content. I've been a fan of him forever. I mean, he was the biggest YouTuber in the space.
Yeah.
Genuine fan. And then he like, I mean, I'm not gonna. I gotta practice what I preach. I'm not gonna go on like a negativity spiral about him specifically, but in the way that he thinks about things, he just caught on to what I said and just like attacked. And I was just, you know, at the time I was 19, and I was like, oh my god, this is like literally the biggest person in the space. I was afraid to go outside the next day, and I was getting death threats. And like,
oh my god, that's insane.
And I was like, I think my life is like over. Like the total polar opposite of coming back from the Star Wars thing.
Yeah.
Like I know everything.
Yeah.
It was like my life is ruined.
Yeah.
And it's over, and someone's gonna like get me, like, because you know, and our relatively recent YouTube channel with like 700 subscribers is getting blown up with comments and like, you know, my all-time favorite is Levi Bond needs to get peed on. Something weird.
Oh man,
there were so many like more long comments, like literally hundreds and hundreds of long comments that are like in depth.
wild,
but just something about someone being like, this kid needs to get peed on.
I know.
I don't know. It's like, what? Like
who thought of that?
Yeah, who thought of that? Like,
who are you?
Anyway,
That's
something
insane.
to tie it back to Lexi, my wonderful girlfriend. She told me once that she had a burner account on Twitter, and she would keyword search my name, and even like years later, like respond to people's comments, telling them that I'm like, this is why I love that girl, man. Like that shit's crazy,
bro. That's But I mean, yeah,
the
whole
fact that people were still talking about it on Twitter, like years later.
Twitter is super toxic. I have it. I only have it for like my sports, and
yeah.
I try not to do anything crazy there. Just some random comments. But the internet can get really dark, man.
It gets really dark. And it gets weird. And that was like a lesson. I mean, I don't know. Actually, it wasn't a lesson. It was more of a reinforcement. After a while, coming to terms with like, no, like I think that maybe I would have handled the situation differently, but like I genuinely believe that stuff about positivity, about coming together and probably able to talk to one another, because that's ultimately what it was about.
Yeah.
I mean, when I'm talking about this sounds like we're talking about like civil rights or something, but it's literally talking about Star Wars, which is so stupid. Like in like the grand context, but in the context of you know, society and us, it's movies and TV.
Yeah.
So we should be able to like talk about that stuff I think it's definitely representative of something broader
Mm-hmm.
that we weren't able to like. People aren't able to even talk about that. Is kind of like
It's kind of crazy.
kind of crazy, and the internet is definitely a part about that. So no, I still believe in that level of positivity, but it was definitely a crazy moment. Like I said, being afraid to go outside in those like days after.
Bro, I can't imagine, man.
Because I was like, oh my god, is someone gonna get me? So silly. Because I had people just as recently as a couple weeks ago, like on the street, like come up to me, and be like, are you the guy from that? Like, if people still recognize me.
That's
It's
wild,
it's
dude.
It's one of the only things I've ever been.
I think the funny thing too is like you're using like a webcam or something on it too. Like the fact that they notice the details, like, hey, you're Levi, right?
I know.
Like, that's insane, dude.
Well, very famously, there's like a follow-up video with this like. People think it's staged because my roommate was playing the trombone in the beginning of the background.
Oh yeah, you with him? I think I saw.
It's so like people. It's so bad. It's so bad, and I wish life is just, sometimes it's a comedic. It's a comedy of errors, but it's a whole thing. I don't want to go too deep.
Well, I'm glad you gave your side of it, man. And I try to.
Hold on.
Yeah,
the funny thing was, so like my roommates now, my good friends now who were on the channel, like this was like their goal, and they're like. They had just met me like 2 weeks ago.
No, seriously,
like, what their phones are blowing up. And my favorite is my buddy Johnny. They were seeing at the time the new Demon Slayer movie.
Oof,
and his phone's blowing up. He's like, what is going on? And he like stood up in the AMC and his phone slipped out and crunched between the chairs as it stood up. And so that day he like gets home and he can't use his phone and he's like, what's going on? And he turns on his Discord and his computer's blowing up and he's like, what did you do? And his phone's broken and he's like, what?
Everything's just
like, and from his perspective, like his life is falling apart, like his YouTube channel is exploding. But we did the channel for a couple years after that, and that honestly that event like gave us most of our like fans, quote unquote, because we had like a few thousand subscribers, and most of them were people who like saw it and were like, no, I actually kind of get down with what you were saying, or I support you, or just being aware of that event. And that was super fun and fulfilling. And for like 3 years, 2.5 years, we did the YouTube channel, and like the repetition and getting guests and just having conversations was so much fun, and also is a big factor of like, quote unquote, who I am. Not really who I am, but what I'm good at was honed through just talking on YouTube, on a podcast.
Yeah, man. I mean, all of that like leads to you right now today. When I met you in Squid Game and all that stuff, like you definitely grew from that experience. I'll tell you, you learned a lot from anything, whether good or bad.
I mean, we're going from you're the face of like the negative side of Star Wars YouTube to being I'm in Star Wars. I was like,
I know, bro. That's like
I got the ultimate victory.
Yin and yang. Like, bro,
yeah, like, I got the ultimate.
You do it by action instead of like just because I did read some of the comments. I'm like, this is wild. The Pete one, he's being PG-13. There's some wild ones out there.
You read of the video itself? Oh yeah, man.
Bro, there's some crazy ones. I want to wash that out of my mind. Like the fact that because the internet really goes crazy. I remember seeing all those trolls, and the crazy thing is these people would only type it like behind a screen. They'll never say it to anyone in person. Never. Unless like you're an absolute psychopath where you'll say some crazy stuff. But like even the crackheads in LA, they don't say random. They don't bother you.
That bad.
So it's like it baffled me, the whole thing. And I don't want to put too much into it, but let's say I agree with a lot of your points during the little thing, man. I'm a little biased obviously because we're homies, but when I was actually watching, I'm like, okay.
Oh god, I've been thinking about it.
Yeah, it's but it's one of the themes that you've always kind of talked about, especially with the beginning of the episode, of just like connecting with people. It's all about having that discourse together, even though we don't agree with, maybe episode 3 shouldn't be part of blah blah blah, whatever.
Yeah,
whatever BS it is. We're all human beings. We all have to use the bathroom. We have to pee. Don't pee on our boy.
Don't pee on me.
Don't pee on our boy. We love to eat. We love to smile, have a good time. And I think, yeah, it was just crazy too. Because also, if you guys ever watch it randomly, which you probably will, it's literally you with everybody else.
And they're all staring. Oh my god, it's so
and they're all in one side of that guy that like they're friends with.
I know. Hey, none of them are friends with him now. So
that's the tea. We're not gonna worry about that one because it's the Patty show. Okay?
Yeah, Patty.
Yes, exactly. Patty show. Thanks for sharing that, man. I'm glad I could learn a little bit more because I was just like, I'm telling you, when I did my research on you, I was like, oh, cool. And I'm like, wait a minute, this is like. I look in, I'm like, that's definitely him.
I know.
You just gotta make sure, Speaking of viral stuff, though, you are in a music video, my boy.
Yeah,
man.
Now we jump ahead.
Yes, because this was crazy seeing that. I remember, man.
So this was right at the tail end of Squid Game.
Mhm.
So jumping ahead now. So yeah, so I thought I was in Star Wars. I moved to LA. I'll do
Everything's
it all.
happening.
Everything's
Just- yeah,
happening.
yeah.
Oh my god, I'm gonna do everything. But then, oh my god, the whole town is shut down because of the strikes. Squid Game for 6 months. Great, all these lovely people. Okay, now Squid Game's over, which is crazy. Like that was my life for 6 months.
It was sad, man, because it ended earlier a little bit. I think a couple weeks.
Like a couple weeks, yeah, but it was
Yeah.
still a long run. And
Yeah.
like, okay, now what the heck am
Yeah.
I gonna do
Yeah.
with my freaking life? Like this was literally everything. But that does, as a side point, a little addendum, like that to me is the beauty of the entertainment industry, and one of the few things I think that is unequivocally good about it, because there are so many bad things, just like any other industry.
Absolutely.
But the fact that there are these moments in time where all these people come together to like make something, and then the fact that it goes away is part of like the beauty of like
It is.
we just
Absolutely.
did that. It was great, and then you can do it again with a new group of people. But in terms of just bringing people together for these concentrated moments of like creativity and fun, there's just really something special and unique
There's
about.
some beauty of it being temporary too.
Exactly,
you know?
because like I have friends who work at Amazon and they're not the biggest fans of it. But like I could always go, maybe I couldn't, me specifically, but you could always go work at Amazon. You've been able to work at Amazon for the last 25 years. You can't just go work at Squid Game the Trial.
Yeah, you can't.
At Television City in Los Angeles. Like that was only something that you could do
for that couple of months.
For those couple of months there, those 4 or 5 months there. So I really do love that part of it. Like, and you get that experience. It's like a building block.
And you mentioned it earlier too, like the fact that like it's been almost over a year since I've seen you, and we still have the energy, the charm. Like every one of the Squid Game gang, everybody, all y'all. I don't want to shout out everyone because I'm gonna forget everyone.
You get it. Shout out to Squid Game. Anyway,
all of them.
Refocus. So it ends. Oh my god, what am I gonna do? And then now I have to put this acting thing to the test, whatever that means.
I like that.
Whatever that means. And to jump ahead a little bit, like I am definitely not. If someone offers me an opportunity to act, I'll do it. But like I'm not desiring to be an actor. I've tried to do the auditioning thing. I've been there. I know the grind. It's not necessarily
auditioning sucks, y'all.
It's not necessarily for me.
Yeah.
But what I had done technically was like I can do background, atmosphere. So whatever that means, right? For a lot of people, it's like looked down upon. But for me, I was like, and the part of this business getting ahead, talking about momentum, is mentality.
Yes.
And if you don't look down upon some of these jobs, you can also just meet people in ways that you're not otherwise afforded. So being background means you can just get on sets. And this is going to tie into the music video very well.
Yes.
Very, very well. Because it'll just put you in cool places. Even if it's for only moments in time, you're still in that place. Not everyone can be in that place, but you are. Even if you're literally like the lowest of the totem pole. And luckily, background work pays pretty all right.
Oh yeah,
but people will be like, oh, like you're an extra. But SAG background work, I don't know.
Hey man, money is money. Money is money. Come on now.
Money. So I'm just submitting to these things. I actually my friends were in town at the time. It was March. It was my girlfriend's birthday, so people were visiting LA, and I'm submitting on its website, Casting Networks.
Yes, Casting Networks. Woo.
And it's just like untitled music video. Do you need? Can you come?
Yeah.
I was like, sure. And I got an email, and they're like, can you be in Castaic, which is way up north, Castaic Lake at 6 a.m. tomorrow, kind of thing. And I was like, all right, sure.
Yes, man, right here.
And
Come on.
Yeah, yes, man. And
Yes,
I get there, and I'm like, I don't know what's going on. And someone's like, I think Sabrina Carpenter is going to be here. And I was like, okay, I've heard of her. I have a friend who's like a big fan of her.
Yeah.
I got at the time. I like her music now, but like at the time, I was like, well, the espresso and all that like really blew her up, and that like 6 months before. But
no, yeah, bro.
At the time, it hadn't come out yet, and it was really funny. And so I was like, okay, sure, okay, I think this is a big thing. And they're like, all right, you're gonna be like the pool boys. And I was like, okay. And it's funny. Yeah, I'm sure you watched the video to try and scrub for me. And you can see me in there a few
of course,
seconds.
you can see,
and I'm rubbing the feet on the beach. But,
come on now.
But in the behind the scenes, you can see me. I did a lot more. Anyway, so we were all there. So we were all there hanging out on the beach for 12 hours a day. And I'm like, wait, we're making this music video. And I could tell then, I was like, this is going to be a huge song. I was like, everyone is going to be singing this song. Cause it was,
it's catchy, man.
Everyone knows now, like, oh, espresso, like that song, everyone knows it. But there the funniest thing was people trying to figure out what the lyrics meant. And I was like, no, she's the espresso guy.
Yes.
It's that me espresso. And they're like, what? Like who? It was just funny listening to the song on loop on the beach and working with. But anyway, she was super nice, getting to work with her team and these PAs. And so I work more behind the scenes now. But it's a testament. This music video was only 2 days. And the director, by the way, Dave Myers, super accomplished director. He's done so many great music videos. I can't even name them all. Like, look up his list. So great team, and I'm just on the beach. What do you do when you're on the beach and you're waiting around? You got to talk to the people. You got to talk to people
absolutely.
around you. And so one thing from that led to another. I get in with the production team a little bit, and this is someone you should get on the podcast, but he just moved actually to San Diego. Harrison, of all people, reaches out to me. He's like, hey man, this is like right after the music video. It's like, hey man, I got like a gig, like a PA gig. I'm like, great. Like, this is what I want to do. I want to be in the production side of things. Squid Game had given me both the like the acting, the performance, and like the production. I was like, I see both of it.
Some of the technical stuff.
I want to do both. Okay, great. Oh my God, someone reached out to me. Production, great. What is it? It's Sabrina Carpenter. Oh my God, I know some of her people, so I can make that connection. And then I was in charge of this shoot that was like, it was 4 days in charge of. I say in charge. It became that way. It didn't start that way. Where I was the AD of, if you guys, if you can look it up, it's her. It's super specific and super weird, and no one ever watched it. But we filmed her entire Coachella set in VR for Meta.
Oh my God! Shout out to Meta
for the Meta Quest, like one of those VR concerts.
That's insane,
which is like
dude.
super niche, and it's like Mark Zuckerberg, like he'll pay $20 million to make this for like 10 people, right? And no one will ever watch it in VR because not everyone has VR.
That's insane.
But
dude.
It was like all of a sudden for like this month, I was like, I'm just like with Sabrina Carpenter's team. So I went from espresso into that, and it was like, oh my God, now I'm all of a sudden just full pivot in this world. This is like less than a month after Squid Game ended, and then that stopped, and then that ended because unfortunately that thing never go anywhere. It was so funny. It's one of those things where everyone there's like, oh my God, you're doing a great job. Like your life is going to change from this.
Yeah.
You know, all this stuff, and this just goes to like the momentum, or you think it's a win and maybe it's not, but then literally nothing. I've never talked to, besides Harrison, I have never talked to any of the people from that ever again, because I don't think they ever made anything again because it just didn't do well. And that's one of those things where, but what was that experience? In those experiences between that is what showed me, okay, it was a trial by fire. It was a yes thing. Because what happened was the stage manager, older guy named Keith, he had never done anything like it before because they're shooting super weird. It's VR, so the director has to be wearing.
You have different tech. Yeah, it's weird. Yeah, dude.
Has to be wearing VR glasses, the VR goggles, so he can't see anybody. So they need someone on stage who's talking to all the departments, running all the different departments. And they're like, "Who's been on set before?" And I was like, "Well, I have." At the time, I'd literally done almost nothing. So I was like, "Yep, I've done it." Yeah, that's me. They're like, "All right, Levi, now you're assisting the director." I was like, "Okay." Then he's like, "All right, Levi, can you make like the shot list?" I wish I had I could have brought it. Like I had a folder. I had to print out.
Wow,
literally,
man, that's awesome.
We rehearsed for 12 hours a day with a choreographer, JB. Like we did everything. And then the day before, her team is like, "You only have Sabrina Carpenter for 6 hours tomorrow. We've been rehearsing for 12 songs. Like you have her for 6." It's like, oh my God, what are we gonna do? We gotta cut songs. We gotta rearrange. Anyway, it was just, it was just this chaotic creation. Like here you are. I know all the department heads' name, or I'm planning this whole thing. I'm like, I'm literally just like nobody, and I've been thrown into this. And I never went anywhere besides this. And like I said, no one probably ever watched this. But it was this experience for me where, okay, I know that I have it within me to do this kind of thing. And taking that away from that environment, that was it. And that was just from literally, you can see me in like 5 frames or whatever of the espresso music video. But it led to this experience that was far more foundational of, I know that I can work in production. It's super weird, but it's also fun. I mean, you can see it on my Instagram, and I'm sure you saw, like, it's just like hanging out on the beach. Yeah. Sometimes that's what work, and that's what it's all about.
That's the beauty of entertainment, man. You find like little pockets of fun like that.
Of fun, you know? It's only 2 days. It's only 3 days, but it's this little window in time where we're doing this thing and no one else got to be here. It was just you. And even if you're not like doing anything, it was super fun. You get in the car and you see the speedboat, and it's like, this is a cool experience. And it's just about a bunch of little cool experiences adding up into something. I don't know, and taking the wins from that to tie it to the theme, because also often in the entertainment industry is there will be big gaps of nothing happening, nothing going on for you, and in terms of that way. And taking those moments as a whole, I'm like, man, I haven't done anything in the biz in like a month and a half. Like, is it over for me? Like, is this, someone hasn't
the
reached
doubt
out?
definitely seeps in your mind, man. Oh my goodness, yeah.
But then you take a step back, you're like, okay, in the last 2 years, coming from X to Y to Z, and you put them all together, and you're like, here's this music video, here's this. You're like, man, to someone else, this is like a lot. Like, if you were describing this to someone, you're like, oh my God, you've done a lot with it. Like someone who's not in the business, like, oh my God, you were in that. Like, that sounds amazing. Like, you're like, oh, well, I was really just background for one day, or I was just a PA on this day, or I didn't really do much. It's like, but to someone who hasn't done any of that, it's like, wait, that actually is a lot. And taking that as like a win of like, okay, I put myself out there. People are still talking to you. You still have that is momentum ultimately. That shows something. That shows that you're doing something right. That yes, okay, there's these weeks where you do nothing. Oh, the summer's slow. You got to pick up something here. Oh man, but then you get a call a month later. Okay, someone's still thinking about you. Okay, now you get the opportunity to do this, and it's still. I have been so fortunate in the 2 years, a little over 2 years that I've been here, that I've been able to hop from thing to thing to thing to thing, and it's like that means I'm doing something right. Because sometimes in those moments, you really think it's all over.
It's over, yeah.
It's over. This has all led to nothing. Great, but the momentum. It's about momentum, and what I said earlier, I think it's all about mentality and turning that mentality into momentum, and that positive mentality into something.
And man, you're someone that practices what you preach. That's how you get all these opportunities, man. Just say yes.
Just say
shoot your shot.
Shoot the shot.
That's how you get all the things done, especially in entertainment. It's so unpredictable, bro. Like literally, like the funny thing though, like last week, I had like a quick turnaround for a commercial also where they were like, "Are you available tomorrow at blah 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 time?" I was also working. Like, luckily, I was also working tomorrow, and I'm like, "I'll find a way." He's like, sure. Bro, I kid you not. It's for this game called Little Nightmares.
Oh, I know. I've heard of that.
The third one. So, for context, I think we talked about earlier, I don't like horror movies or anything like that. The audition, it's like you have to tell them what your biggest fear is, whatever. And I hate clowns. So I tell them, I hate clowns, all that stuff. They call me up for the thing, and they're like, oh, man, we loved your audition, but we're going to have to switch your phobia, okay? I'm like, okay, you can either pick you're scared of clowns of dolls or bugs. And I'm like, can I do the dolls actually? Because I feel like there's enough correlation between the two. And then one of my brothers actually, he hates dolls like Chucky, all that stuff.
Yeah.
So bro, we're playing the game, doing the gameplay. I used to be a big gamer back then. Now it's been like ages. So I suck playing that game, bro. They're asking questions. I'm here with another actor guy on Discord during the whole thing. We're just trying to, talk about the game while talking about our phobias, like making up stories, basically. Like, oh, yeah, I'm scared of dolls because my dad used to watch this movie, blah, 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 all that stuff. And then, bro, there's this one level we're stuck on, like, every single time we keep dying. They have to call in somebody to play the game while we're commentating. Yeah, bro, I'm like, oh, damn. I see why video gaming is tough, y'all. It's a career. You guys can jump into that career if you want to, Your parents that say you can't make money out of video games, you can, because this guy was hired to play video games, and he did a great job. Shout out to my boy Josh. You're the homie for helping us out. But bro, it was such a blessing that I just said yes randomly. I still had to do like other work during the day. Yeah. But the craziest thing after, man, because I had to use like a lav thing, I had my necklaces, so I left them on the table. And then we shot early in the morning. It was only wrapped in like 2 hours. And I'm like, oh man, I forgot my necklace. Like, well, let me go back. Guys, can I come back to just pick up my stuff? He's like, yeah. How far are you from the place? Bro, it's literally only a 15-minute walk from here. Isn't that in LA? If you know, you know.
Yeah.
15-minute walk, not even drive. Walk, bro. Like literally, when I show you out later,
that's lucky.
It's like, look, you can probably see it from the. Maybe that's how close it is, bro. The amount of luck and fortune, blessings of like the ideas you said, bro. Like just saying yes to a lot of things. That's why we connect so much, even though like we haven't seen each other like a year and a half.
Yeah.
And even in Squid Game, we worked a lot together, but not even as much as other people, but the connection's right there, the vibe. It's there. And that's why I'm glad you're here, man.
People remember the positive vibe.
Absolutely. That's the thing, man. You remember the negativity, you remember the positivity. That's what the show's about, man. I think it's time for us to talk about our talking points.
All right, yeah, sorry.
No, don't apologize. This is what it's about. I want to know about your story, and I learned so much about you, man. Thanks for sharing, being vulnerable, all that stuff, man.
Like I said, we could be here for another 5 hours.
Yeah, absolutely. The first talking point about passion, we kind of talked about it a little bit, about the momentum and everything. But how? What's your go-to, first rep to kind of build momentum? I know we talked about the entertainment industry where there's like some stagnant parts over there, but what's your first kind of step to get things going usually if it's like a place where you feel like nothing's moving?
I think it's obviously it's going to sound like I'm repeating myself, but talking to somebody. In my case, it's my roommates and people around me. Like we've been working on a script for 6 months.
Oh,
kind of
I'm
thing.
excited for that.
And we started in February. Oh well, I'll send it to you.
Oh yeah, I got to.
But we started the ideas in February, kind of thing, and then we got busy and busy and busy and busy. Okay, we can't all write together. But we're talking about it. We're just working on ideas, and it's like, man, I like this. This has to come out of me. Like we got to just like put it on the page. And we just we all sat down like, okay, how am I gonna get this? Like it's been percolating in my mind. It always, when you have a creative idea, or if you're a creative, something will just stick with you, and it'll kind of haunt you when you're because we put up like sticky notes on the wall, kind of thing. We planned the whole thing out, and then it just went nowhere. And it's like, fuck, like this is something like it was the point where it's literally like a movie. Like the sticky notes were peeling off the wall. It's like, this represents the fact that
you guys got to act on it now. Yep.
Oh my god.
Wow, that's a good visual, actually.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah. It got you. Like something like that. It starts to motivate you. And so just sitting down and we had a conversation and we just talked out ideas. And it was still this thing where it's like, okay, but we want to wait to write. But just something about talking about it. I sat down and I just wrote 15 pages. It just flew out.
Yeah.
Because we've been talking about it for so long, it's been existing for so long, and it was just about that final push of like, because this is over the period of many months. So this is specifically, you're talking about like the rep of just talking about it again, even if it's the same thing again, just like, okay, this is what we're doing. Okay, what's your idea? Okay, this is what it is. I'm just doing it, and that took a lot. Or like you mentioned before the show. Yeah, I keep a journal, so like writing, just like writing it down, just doing, even if it's half a page, even if it's just getting something out of you, out of your brain to something physical. Especially, I prefer pen to paper.
We keep it old school. Shout out to the fam.
I mean, script. I typed it up in the program, but like
it's
in terms of ideas, something about pen to paper. Like
I mean, even like with my notes, I love writing on my paper because it's just you can feel the literal physical connection to it, So it kind of inspires you a little bit more too when you like feel the texture of the ink too and all that stuff. It really opens up the mind even more because I don't know. Some people will work better when they're just like straight into typing. For me, I just can't personally for main ideas, to be honest with you.
I get that, but yeah, when you get stuck, and when we're talking about these moments of in the industry when you're not doing anything, so okay, you're in that month, and sometimes you can get lost and you're just stuck in your room, or you're seeing the same thing every day, and it gets boring, it gets dull. No matter how nice your life is, you can drive yourself crazy. And stepping outside, going on a walk, just okay, the air is in my face. Now I'm going to go write something. It's physically, it's on a piece of paper. This is the idea. Calling somebody, talking to someone about it. This is the idea. What do you think about it? Okay, I don't agree. I agree. Getting it out. And that is like kind of not really answering the question, because about like writer's block, like I understand. And we were blocked for like 6 months. So I guess the answer is just, I don't know, kick yourself in the ass. Something about just breaking through. And I'm not getting to the core of how to do it, but the feeling of finally getting it out is just so satisfying and relieving. The little rep though, if talking to someone is the answer, no, I don't know. I going outside, if you're stuck in your room or if you haven't done anything, just trying to clear your brain and then putting on the page. I'll say putting something physical on the page, having like a piece of paper that's like, this is the idea. What do I do with it? The first thing, like even getting those sticky notes, they were ultimately peeling off the wall, and that kicked us in the ass to do it. But putting them up on the wall in the first place was a great step.
Absolutely,
like, okay, I've visualized this thing now. And that was part of why I was able to write 15 pages in like a day, was because I'd been thinking about it for so long.
It was like built up.
This thing had just existed.
Because if it was just a random day after 6 months,
no way.
15 pages, maybe you could have got something, but it wouldn't be the same product.
Talked about it. And
it's lingering and
that it existed in this physical form, and having that foundation, I think, is super critical to being creative.
Man, I'm excited to see that script actually, man. Woo, man. Oh man. Speaking of like celebrating doing stuff like that, our next talking point on pleasure, celebrating the little wins. What's joyful habits changed your routine now? Anything new that
Well,
you've been implementing now?
I think it's something I started to implement since I've been here, and I definitely got it from my mom because I didn't used to do this. But on every job, on every little moment, like I said, because sometimes you're in these places for literally just 6 hours or 10 hours, and you never get to go back. Is taking a photo of either yourself or something around you. And I don't know, people will, because when you're on set or when you're doing something, or there's like celebrities around, people don't take that as like, oh, go take a selfie with the celebrity. Don't do that.
Take a pic with Will Smith.
Don't do that. Remember when Will Smith?
Oh yeah, shout out to Will Smith.
Oh, man. Shout out Will Smith.
Will Smith. Yeah.
And I told him I was from Philadelphia, and he was like, ah. That was funny, man. You're in there, you hear battleships, you go, hey, ah. And then Will Smith was like, yeah, that was a pretty good one actually. He's in there. I don't think I fully hit it, but like there were times where I could hit that impression. And just like walking around the space and hearing Will Smith, I was like,
surreal. It's crazy.
It was weird, but that's one of those moments where you just gotta try to hold on to that. And I think I do have a photo from that day, and I'm just like stuff like that. Where, and when I go back and I have a whole folder, in my camera, different folders of like just moments, and they're all sorted into the different things, and so I can visualize. I'm a very visual person, a visual learner as well. I learn by doing. And so I remember by writing, I remember by seeing as well. So I have this whole folder of like, this is all these different things that I've done. So when I see it that way, once again, the other thing, it feels like I've accomplished a lot. It feels like, okay, maybe I have done a lot. Because in this moment, it feels like I'm useless or I'm doing nothing. But being able to look back at something to pull that memory back, and doing that every day or doing that frequently, and like, it helps me stay happy. Like, okay, I've accomplished something. I've accomplished X, Y, or Z, or I've accomplished some of it. I'm being kind of vague because some of it I can't talk about technically. There's NDAs.
Yes, I know. Shout out to NDAs. Are crazy, man.
Shout out to NDAs.
It's the hardest thing ever. Whenever you get them, and then when you're finally done, you're like, finally, I can talk about this.
But being able to scroll and look and be like, yeah, that was a fun day, and I was part of something kind of cool, like the new Freakier Friday. I got to work on that.
Hey, awesome,
and,
dude.
That has led to a bunch, but there's this scene in that movie with this like giant food fight. And it's just, I don't know if you guys have seen it. I thought it was really fun. I'm not going to fully shout out Freakier Friday because it's a giant movie. You've seen it.
Yeah. Come on now.
They don't need the.
They didn't shout us out. Come on, shout out our boy Levi. He came here to the show just to shout you guys out.
They don't need the rep, but like. Seeing myself, AJ got to work on the movie
really?
too.
Oh wow!
Yeah. He's like he gets to be this mime in the scene.
Oh my god, it's hilarious.
He got a line too. And I think they cut it out, but it was super funny. And being there, and that was another of those moments where you're there in this moment, and AJ has worked. He's this guy who has worked so hard. He's this amazing immersive actor. He's this amazing actor and creative. Period. And I was there on his journey when this director was like, "Hey, do you want this line?" And he was just cast as like this background mime, and he got elevated to this integral part of the scene, and they shot so much more, and he got to be in this movie.
Yeah,
and it's like
beautiful.
That's beautiful, and that's what it's about. And we were there for 2 days in another situation. I was there with my roommate, and we stayed at someone's house. It was out in Thousand Oaks.
Oh wow!
And so we were staying over with someone, my buddy Max. Shout out Max. And it's like that's one of those things where it's just taking a photo of that and seeing. And I still have the grime on this pair of shoes from this food fight. I mean, I swear to God, we did so many takes. And like, food is kicking the ground, but it's this like blink and you miss it moment relative to the course of history or the course of media or this movie. But like the fact that I got to do that and being able to look at this photo and be like, this is such a happy moment. I got to be part of a movie that people like, and it really is. It was just 2 days of my life. It's a moment in time, but putting that on the list of like, this is something I did, and being able to see that, it brings me a lot of joy. Absolutely. and fuel, like emotional fuel, because that's not like a consistent job, Like I said, just a moment in time, but it does provide fuel for the rest of my life.
Yeah, and that's a powerful thing, man. I think, especially with how fast-paced everything is, acknowledging your wins is such an amazing. Oh man, you got to acknowledge all your wins, big, small, whatever it is, but also finding the balance of also like not lingering too much, because I always think of like that analogy of like I remember I used to play varsity basketball and you're like 57, like that. We don't want to be on that level.
Lost. Yeah.
You don't want to get lost in the sauce when it comes to that. But it's like acknowledging, I was a state champion. I can still do this other thing that's maybe not related at all, but finding a way to advance from it as well. So like acknowledging it, and then having time to advance and do the next goal, whatever it is, and evolve.
100%. I just, in the context of like celebrating the wins and using that as fuel, though, I think there's something to that. Because of course, you don't want to be staring at yourself in the mirror 30 years from now, being like, I was in that one scene in Freakier Friday. I'm a movie star, kids. Yeah. But now, like, and it's not just Freakier Friday. Like, there's a bunch of cool stuff, and I'm trying to shift, and we can maybe talk about that at the end there. But like, just reminding yourself, I can do cool things. I've been a part of cool things. There it is, and like I'm capable of doing that. And even if this is, it feels like nothing is happening. Oh, that did happen. Oh, and here's something else that's happening. I don't know, just stuff like that. I think reminding yourself. I don't know if I fully answered the question, but I know I'm repeating myself with some of these. But
no, but it's
about positivity.
Yes, that's what it's about.
That is what the podcast is about, and that's what.
And the good energy, you're bringing the passion and the pleasure, man. Our final talking point is focused on positivity, but it does connect to that other point you're talking about with the journey. My question is about what helps you trust the journey when it seems like it's only going to go down. Maybe it's super high. How do you like balance all the ebbs and flows? Because you've seen it all, man. The ups and downs. How do you
it's so difficult to give like a genuine answer because of how, when I look back on it and from my perspective, how ridiculously lucky I've been. But sometimes you also, and my friends have to remind me, it's like, well, it's luck, but some of that only happened because you did it. And it's like, did I? So for example, to build from where the Sabrina Carpenter thing was going. So I was doing production. It was like, oh my God, I did this huge thing. Production, this is what I want to do. But then it fell off a cliff, right? So then there was no more production. But then I get from Brody, who maybe you should have on the pod, Brody Redmond, great guy. He reached out in the summer and was like, do you want to help run this Beetlejuice thing? And then I was stage managing this Beetlejuice experience. So for 2024, it was like this, being on set and stuff wasn't always working, wasn't always able to get there, but the live experiences were like, oh, this is what I'm doing. Okay, I'm managing. And so that was giving me tons of such a valuable experience of working with actors, working with the production. And I was, stage managing for months and months and months. And like, that was meeting so many more friends from that. Anyway, positive experience. But in that time, still trying to do the background thing. Okay, getting on set, because that's where I want to be. I want to be on set, but in production. And over the course of, I think it was 8 months, I met a girl on a Wendy's commercial, talking with her, sitting there, right, as you do, on a Wendy's commercial. On a way, of course. And it's just one day. It's one time of small wins. It's just one day at work. That's it. But it's a Wendy's commercial. You're sitting in a parking lot under a tent with someone. You're talking to them. And she's like, oh, what do you want to do? Having a similar conversation like this. Yeah. She's like, oh, well, my boyfriend is an AD or is this. It's like, okay, sure. Like, that seems like maybe we'll follow up. But of course, nothing happens. I don't get her number. I don't get his number. Okay, whatever. Then I see her again on a movie in December. Wow. Right. Dude, 3 months. Crazy. 3 months later. Yes. 3 months later. Okay, then you follow up. Oh yeah, I remember. We did this in XYZ. Okay, yeah, this is what he's doing. Let me give you his phone number. Wow. Okay. Dude. You text him. So that was August. So now it's the next year. You text him. He's busy. Whatever. Maybe you're trying to get lunch. Whatever. It's not working out. Okay. Is this ever going to go anywhere? Then I swear to God, I ran into them at the movie theater. Like, I just saw this guy and I was like, oh my God, that's the guy. I'm like, I'm pretty sure that's her. That must be her boyfriend. And I just walked up and was like, hey man, like I'm that guy. That texting. He was like, oh, cool. And then he was like, I think I might have something in a couple months. And then 2 months later, so now it's April of this year. So that took from August to April. So that's a long time. Long game. And there's a lot going on in there, and keeping the momentum and keeping your mind on the wins. And I'm doing a lot, and I did so much in that time. Man, but I wasn't still, from April to April, because it was April 2024, I do the Sabrina Carpenter thing. Okay, I can do production. It takes until the next April to do something officially on set production again. So that's a whole year. Yeah. But you do so much in that time, and it's such a journey. One thing leads to another, and you don't even know how it all connects. But being positive in every experience, and it's such a small world, so people know each other. Yeah, like, how does this person know this person, crazy. And then April comes around, so a whole year later, because of this like obscure connection of this one person who I just happened to be chatting with, because I'm just trying to talk to everyone on a Wendy's commercial. Yeah, I see them in person. 6 months later, I see them. Then here I am, and then I ended up this year getting to do what I want, and I'm sort of there, but PAing, so being a production assistant. So you're working in the assistant director department, which doesn't actually, you're not actually directing. You assist the director. You're essentially running the set. These are the people who run a film set. So there's all these different departments, costumes, hair, makeup, grip, electric, transportation. Like I said earlier, a film set is really, it's like hundreds of people divided into groups who are all in constant clash with each other, and then trying to logistically manage that. So when I try to explain it to my family, that's what I say. It's like it's purely a matter of logistics, because they think about, celebrities are like, oh, you're going to do cool stuff. It's like the film sets are. It's all about getting stuff done on time, and making all these pieces.
There's a schedule, man. Everyone,
and making all these pieces fit together in the right way. And I had gotten that experience from the live events that we had done, and so
crazy,
much
man.
time
Everything's coming together.
Everything coming together, and so I was able to do that year of like, okay, this is what I was doing this year. But then when I was on sets as background, I was observing, I was watching, I was learning, I was taking in. So okay, when I'm in that position, I can do this. So then here I am in April of this year, and I've been PAing now on and off, and like it's great. And I got to work on. I think I can say I worked on it. I obviously can't say any spoilers, but it was this Apple show with Colin Farrell called Sugar.
Wow.
Sugar season 2. Shout out Sugar. That came out last year. Yes. Nobody watched it, so I actually will shout.
Yeah, we'll shout you out
because nobody watches.
We need some
Apple
love
TV.
for them. Yeah,
go watch. Nobody watches Apple TV, but it's Sugar, guys. Go watch Sugar. But like, and here I am, and I'm working with Colin Farrell. And like, Colin Farrell knows my name. And
that's
like,
insane,
and
dude.
Crazy.
Yeah.
It's like this is such a strange warped reality. But Colin Farrell. So this is it's because it's all connected, man. It's all like just one positive. It's funny because the movie's coming out, but it's one positive battle after another, and you got to take the wins and turn it into momentum.
Yes,
is the year before in May. It just came out. People don't really like it. I thought it was all right, but A Big Bold Beautiful Journey, the movie with Margot Robbie and that.
Margot Robbie.
I did 3 days on that movie. This is just background.
What? That's crazy.
Right? But and at the time, that was one of those things, and there was overnights at the school, and I was like so sick of it. And you're there at 4 a.m. and you're like, God, like this is a job, but I love doing this. I love doing this. And in the movie, it's this crazy scene where it's like this school play, and he's in the school play, and I'm running on with a chair in my hand, and I hit Colin Farrell with this chair.
Oh
during one of the rehearsals. It was a funny thing.
Yeah.
But like we make this like brief connection then, and then like a year later, he remembers me from doing this other thing. Or like I make that connection with him. And he's like, oh my God, you were there, and I was like, yeah, like I was there. And then here you're a year later, like with literally Colin Farrell, you can make these connections. It's not just random people; it's everyone. Because these people, everyone's just a person. I'm saying Colin Farrell like he's some like deity. He's just a guy, just like everyone else. And that is the other thing that you if you're entering into the industry, everyone is just a person. Of course, there's like the divas out there.
Yeah.
But that's true. There's people who are just divas.
Any industry. Yeah, any industry.
It's just most people are just other human beings, and if you treat them with that kind of constant positivity, that constant respect, that constant and just be open to the experiences that life is throwing at you. Like I had no idea when I did that movie, and I was miserable overnights, whatever. That like a year later, like I'm doing what I want. I'm working on the crew now, and here are some of the same people. This is crazy, and like doing that for so long, and then when you're on the other side of it, turning those connections into. Because I never, to talk about earlier, you never look down on it. You never look down on
Absolutely.
Or the opportunities.
That's the mentality stuff you mentioned earlier.
It's mentality into momentum. Exactly. Mentality into momentum. When you're in those positions, if you don't think of it like, oh, I'm stuck in this box and people are looking down on me. If you don't act that way, then people won't treat you that way. And then when you're on the other side, you're able to make the switch like that, and people go, oh yeah, you've been doing this. That's the other thing. When people make the assumption, they're like, oh yeah, you know this because of this, and then you just have like a good vibe. I just say yes. I never correct people.
Yes.
Maybe it's dishonest.
Yeah.
Maybe it's like that's something about me that I'm admitting. But like when people, especially in positions of power, are like, yeah, you've been around because they've just seen me because I'm just in these spaces. Like I'm always doing it, but I'm watching it, so I know how to do it. They're like, can you do this? I'm like, sure. Just like always be saying yes. I don't know. Maybe that's the theme.
That's the hunger and the passion, man, and that's the beauty of it, man. And what can you tease of what's to come though this coming year? Anything cool?
There is some cool stuff. Yeah, I'll tease.
Okay, tease a little bit.
The audience, if you can keep a secret,
there we go.
I'll let you know.
Low key, you know?
Let's see. I got to do this really fun role. I can just talk about this one because this is almost 2 years ago now. I shot this, and that was more of like an acting thing. This is something I auditioned for. This was actually still during a Squid Game.
Okay.
There's this movie? It just premiered at one of these film festivals called Forlock. It has David Krumholtz, who was in the Santa Claus movies. He's also in Oppenheimer. He's coming back now. He's a cool actor, and he stars and co-produced and helped direct this movie called Forlock, and I have this really small role in it, in someone's dream sequence.
Oh, interesting.
Playing someone's brother in a dream sequence. That was pretty funny. And that'll be coming out. That's not like a spoiler. That's probably out there.
I'm excited to see that.
I'm excited to see that. Like that's one of those moments that I know that if people see that movie, like I'm definitely like in it because I'm like a character.
Yeah. So you can clearly see. You don't have to like pause it.
And I'm like consoling the main character in like this dream.
Wow.
Honestly, it might get cut and then maybe I'll get sued. But it's out there.
We know some lawyers. We should be good.
Yeah, it's out there. It's out there. And then I got to work on the new season of Fallout, which is coming.
Whoa, dude! Oh,
and that I definitely cannot say
too much, but
anything about.
That's exciting stuff, man.
But that was super fun. And then this is what I'm talking about. And then next year, you'll see me in the new Star Wars movie.
Woo! Shout out again. You can't cancel him from the Star Wars community, y'all. Okay, you know what I'm saying? He's uncancelable.
And that'll be super fun. But to put it in perspective, because like I said, I could just keep going and going and going with all these like little things. Mm-hmm. But I can't stress enough, these are only like days, right? They're days here and there across months. They're not. This is not like when talking about like the career or keeping the positive momentum.
Yeah. It's
not like a consistent thing. But when you say it out loud and you look back, and you're like, wait, okay. Yeah. I have accomplished a lot. And then keeping that and then turning that into momentum.
And it makes it worth it, man. Especially you need those times because there's those days where it's like it could be weeks, months. Yeah. You feel like, damn.
Because when I say I work on a TV show, people will go, oh, you were on XYZ or you're in this many episodes. You must have been there for 8 months or whatever.
No, it's so quick.
It was like 6 days over 8 months.
Yeah.
And that is not, that's not income, right? It's money in the moment, but that's not a career right there. But in conjunction with all these other things, that's how you are able to make it sustainable, and that's the momentum. That's the mentality and the momentum.
And most people forget how long post-production takes.
Also, that too. Everything. I mean, the fact some of the stuff that like one of the first things that I worked on, and I won't get into this specific one. I won't say specifically.
Okay.
But let's just say it's a because they're definitely trigger happy over there. Let's just say it's a biopic about a big pop artist.
Okay.
That keeps getting pushed around.
I think I can tell what it is.
And broken in half. And if you know that about any biopics that are going on right now that are coming out that haven't come out yet that we're supposed to, then you can probably put it together. I'm not saying that. But the amount of craziness that has gone on that particular production, and how long ago it was, and how we keep going back to it. And it's like, oh my God, what is going on? Anyway, so there's stuff in the works.
There's a lot of stuff, man.
There's a lot of stuff in the works.
We're excited for you, man.
Thank you.
It's
a little smidge.
I know that we can't use too much stuff. You know what I'm saying? He'll be back for a part 2 eventually. Part 2 of the Patty Show podcast.
Exactly.
Bro, I appreciate you greatly for coming to the Patty Show, bro.
Of course.
You're the best, man.
Come
on now. All love, bro. You're someone that practices what you preach. I'm excited for everyone to learn about these little lessons. Thanks for sharing and being vulnerable about your story and really opening up there, because I couldn't really find much online. So I'm glad I learned so much.
I keep a slim internet presence.
Yeah, man. Try to keep it chill over there. But man, we usually like to end off with a little arigato at the end. By the way, where can we find you again?
I'd say Levi James Bond on Instagram, but I'm not super active on there like I should be. I do posts every 6 months kind of things. I like doing big updates where you can really follow me, and we didn't really get into this. It's super niche, but I love reviewing movies. I'm a big cinephile, and on the app Letterboxd, it's a pretty cinema app, but I'm Levi J Bond on there. You can find me. A lot of takes, a lot of movies to review, a lot of ratings. That's where I'm the most active on social media. I'm posting every day over there.
That's awesome, dude.
That's where you'll get my unvarnished opinions on your favorite movie.
There we go. I'm excited to see more of that then, man. Well, we'll end with our arigato on 3. 1, 2, 3. Arigato. Thanks, everybody.
Thanks for joining me on this episode of The Patty Show. I hope you had as much fun as I did exploring the crossing point of the 3 Ps: passion, pleasure, and positivity. If you want to keep the Patty Party going, follow us on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, and all social platforms at Patty Show Podcast. Share this episode and leave a positive review. PattySatiati.com/podcast, as well as PattyShow.podbean.com have got more of your Patty Show needs. In the meantime, keep passionately pursuing your personal paradise. Arigato.